VCR Podcast with your host, Vish.
They're just bastardizing our childhood and the classics.
Chris.
Nintendogs drove me. It's what makes me want to hurt people.
Radical.
People in general still bitch about everything. It still doesn't change.
Let the podcast begin.
Hello everybody, welcome to the VCR Podcast, the only podcast that predates itself in the moment the title is spoken. Adam, aka askcsradical, here with you guys. Chris is above me, and even more above me is the birthday boy, as it may be, Views Vishals, as we celebrate another year of him coming closer to the grave, as we always love to do during birthdays.
Jesus.
Or maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me.
Dead before I do.
I mean, look, I'm already amazed I made it to 33. You kidding me?
You haven't made it 33 yet.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you got like a month.
I'm trying.
You're trying.
I mean, there's still time. I shouldn't say that out loud. Fuck. All right. Well, I guess this has been my last episode on the show. I'm gonna fucking probably die. So, is it like that thing? Is it like that thing where you talk about a celebrity enough and like you jinx it? Did I just do that to myself?
So, A, you're not a celebrity, and B, Chris, let's cheers. Rest in peace, Adam.
I'll take it.
To Vishal and Adam.
It's the one time these guys ever gave a shit about me. I'll take it.
Adam. I still didn't give a shit about you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fuck.
You're all right, kid.
My joke. Fuck.
So yeah, VCR Podcast episode 58. Actually, you know what?
Fuck.
It's probably amazing we made it more to that than I've made it to almost 33. So you know what?
Yeah, how the fuck did we manage to do this?
How do we manage to get past 5, let alone 50?
We're bored.
Actually, I guarantee you pandemic is why. It's a lot harder to kill each other through a computer screen. Little more difficult.
Yeah, but there's also less chicken wings, so less reasons to not kill each other because you get wings after.
I mean, you can always get chicken wings.
There was 2 things that I didn't get to do today that would have made it a perfect day. One of them was chicken wings, which I would have done, but I had Hakka, so that made up for that.
Also,
I'm waiting for the second thing.
What did you like to know?
Actually, never mind. I'm gonna change my answer on that one, and we're gonna move on to the intro that we sometimes get to, and before Vish probably gets us a bannable offense every fucking intro. Yeah. So I again do what I try to not to do sometimes, is take a huge gamble and give the birthday boy first dibs. So what have you been up to?
I'm just walking away then.
To be entirely honest, I will say this week has been pretty uneventful. From my depressing binge of The Last of Us 2.
Vishal and depressing never mixes together. It never seemed to happen.
I really haven't done much this week. I haven't really watched any new TV shows.
I mean, that's a good sign. It means you didn't watch any shitty Hallmark movies for 1 week.
I don't watch Hallmark movies, dude.
I don't know. Next time you bring up something with like some random actors that nobody remembers except for that one movie 20 years ago and say, oh yeah, I watched this for some reason. It was kind of shit.
Also, I feel like you did
recall what
I couldn't recall the name of it, but it was some random thing where it was like a Sarah Michelle Gellar kind of name, where I'm like, what the fuck were you watching?
No, it was Emma Roberts. A, she's hot. B,
that is not an excuse.
I know I made a huge mistake with that movie. It was oh my god, it was so bad.
That is. I mean, I'm pretty sure Chris, when he watched whatever crappy movie that he told us about a couple of podcasts ago,
The Holiday.
Yeah.
That there was at least a reason for it. I don't think you have any reason to watch some of the stuff that you come back to us with, Vish. I think you just like hating yourself. I think you must be a sadist of some sort when it comes to like Netflix.
Okay, so let me tell you what happened. I've been playing. I'm trying to finish it so I never have to play it again. So I was playing Brick Breaker last night.
Speaking of sadism,
one level because I guess I hate myself.
Yes, apparently.
Yes.
One brick away from this level that's been taking me months to beat. It's not like I'm playing it every day. I'll play it sometimes once a week or so just to try to get through it. But I'll spend a long time, like an hour or 2 on it. 1 brick away.
I'm wishing for the days that we have like
I lost
actual,
from
like,
one fucking brick away.
I'm really wishing for the day that we have like a like at least like enough of an audience that we'd have an active chat on the stream just to hear people say, "Why are you still playing Brick Breaker?"
I was one fucking brick away.
Because I'm sitting here being like, how many? Like, I really wonder if I go back through our entire catalog, how many times you've said you've been playing Brick Breaker on the show. It's
and
almost,
I said it was my worst game of 2020.
Oh yeah, you did. You did. You did say it's the worst one of 2020. I remember picking up that game because I was like, you know what? I want to play some Brick Breaker. I got to like level 30 and I put it down because I had it on my Switch and I was like, fuck that forever. I'm never playing that again.
God.
Am I like some anomaly that doesn't want to play Brick Breaker? What's the fuck is going on here?
Don't play it. Don't play it.
I'm okay with not playing Brick Breaker.
Adam, you're barely stable with anger as it is. You play Brick Breaker. I feel like you're going to go on a murderous
Brick
rampage.
Breaker? Do you know how many anime tits I can play on all the JRPGs that I have in my backlog? Why would I play Brick Breaker? Jeez.
Because they make you happy, and you need something in your life that
more than anime boobs. Have you seen them?
No, you need something
but
that
it's
you
like,
no, I don't.
So that
actually,
balances you.
No, I'm
good. Essentially, I found this week pretty uneventful on all fronts. There was nothing new coming out movie-wise, TV show-wise, or game-wise.
Yeah, the Marvel train is coming very soon.
Oh, I am looking very forward to that. And with the Uncharted trailer that's rumored to come out tomorrow, I'm looking very forward to that. So
I'm hoping that's what it actually is, because I think we need content. We need stuff to bitch about on this show.
Oh, or not
Here's
bitch about it. I think it's actually going to be awesome.
Oh, even if it's an amazing trailer, I'm still going to bitch, being like, why isn't it Nathan Fillion? I'm still going to do it.
This is what's going to happen, guys. This is what's going to happen, all right? Tom Holland's going to come out. He works a lot with Disney and Marvel. What are they also on? Star Wars. Tom Holland is going to star in Indiana Jones 5 and confuse everybody by being the same person in two different movies. Uncharted and Indiana Jones.
Yeah, actually, it's Uncharted.
Yes. Because the timeline in both the game and the movie make total sense for it to be in the same universe.
They tricked us the whole time. Uncharted 5. Or sorry, no, Indiana Jones 5. Uncharted Waters.
Uncharted Waters. Indy discovers his son, Nathan.
And in reality, actually, Harrison Ford comes back, and all along Indiana Jones was actually Sully.
Oh my god, this is starting to work.
Shit.
This was a joke, but now I want this to be real.
Maybe when we talk about the video game later, we can bring up those ideas.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, I really my week has been pretty uneventful. I really don't have much to say except I'm looking really forward to WandaVision. I feel like it's something we have never seen before. The way that they're showing it, the way that it's going to be done, I feel like it's something we have never seen before, and I'm looking very forward to it.
Well, I hope for the amount of hype that it sounds like you're generating for it, that it doesn't disappoint you, because Lord knows you need a nice start to this fucking year, so...
well, here's the thing.
Can you imagine if WandaVision bombs, how much that's gonna just rock Vish?
Here's the thing, man. It could bomb. I'll live through it. It's other things that'll actually get to me, that will like affect me like directly in my life.
You're the one that was saying how badly you needed anything Marvel because it's been like a whole year.
We all are, man. Like I'm telling
okay.
you, like, we all have something with Marvel.
I'm okay.
I get that, but the fact is like with me, I have many interests, and with Marvel, it's like I just plain simple I miss it. It's been a year, and I want something, and I think WandaVision is going to be unique. I think it's going to be different, and I'm looking very forward to it. I still don't think there's going to be any theatrical releases this year, plain and simple. At least not until maybe September for Chris's birthday when we go watch Black Widow in theaters.
I mean,
I'm guessing at that.
Yeah, I still won't be seeing anything in theaters this year. I mean, it sounds like the possibility is there, considering at least I don't know what it's going to be like in the States, but we just got the news today that at least here in Canada, their goal, at least like what they're hoping for, is that the general public will start to be able to be getting vaccinated by like August, which is earlier than I thought, if that is true. So could the possibility of theaters be open this year? Yes. Would I still go? Probably not. Because I don't think I'll be vaccinated this year, because I'm pretty sure I don't want to be standing in massive lines trying to get one.
Listen, I'm so, like, here's the thing, like this lockdown, maybe that's one reason I haven't been doing anything, because I've been so upset about it. Like yesterday, I just, it hit me hard. And I fully admit I'm upset about this lockdown for purely my own selfish, self-centered reasons. I'm not even gonna deny that. It still fucking sucks. I still fucking hate it. So honestly, if I have to be the test dummy for friends and family, I will get that vaccine the second it's available to me. I really will. If I have to be that test dummy, I will do it, because frankly, it just fucking sucks. So yeah, that's really it. So I will go in order. Chris, what have you been up to?
I was just gonna say before I started, I can picture if WandaVision fails, Vishal having a breakdown, and you just see him walking to like his room, like lube in one hand and fucking brick breaker in the other, and then the door closes.
Is he gonna be that kid that like sticks the TV remote up his ass because he's so angry? Is he gonna turn into a meme?
Okay.
Yeah, but it's gonna be brick breaker. It's gonna break him.
America, no, I don't think I will.
I think if you get to that mental kind of state, Vish, you don't really get a choice in the matter anymore. I don't think the guy that infamously put a remote up his ass actually was doing it of his own volition. I think brain was shut off at that point.
No, I can tell you that isn't like a TV show failing to live up to expectations isn't what's gonna do it to me, because I watched How I Met Your Mother, The Office after season 7. And
I have no idea what that means.
Big Bang Theory. They went to shit after season 7.
So every show.
Yes. And I watched Big Bang Theory. And yes, I watched Big Bang Theory, The Walking Dead, and How I Met Your Mother after season 7 in syndication when the episode was aired.
So maybe the
TV show going back
is
not gonna make me go fucking crazy just shoving a remote in my asshole. But Chris, what have you been up to?
Fine, don't let me.
It wasn't a remote. You were shoving brick breaker. You were shoving brick breaker.
It's going to be a brick breaker game where it's his ass and you're hitting the ball into his ass, and that's slowly getting rid of the bricks in his ass.
That was just an excuse for you to say ass a bunch of times. All right, so what have I been up to? Ass.
As you were, Chris.
Ass you damn. Oh, one last one in there. Oh, you son of a bitch. You ass. So I've got 4 games I'll quickly mention. Only a couple of them I have a bit to say. First one it's my new Animal Crossing, like the whole quarantine, stuck at home, need something to kind of feel good, and that kind of stuff. I'm playing the new Story of Seasons game.
Yeah, you're going back.
Friends of Mineral Town. Yeah, I mentioned this last week. Nothing new there. I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything new I could say about this game. I'm probably getting married tomorrow in the game because
I'm telling. Okay. I'm glad you said the second part.
The girl I've been giving flowers to every day for 2 months. Yes, 2 months.
Which girl? I gotta know.
Jennifer. She was the only one that had like the long hair.
Jennifer or Yennefer?
Jennifer, just Jennifer. She's a hippie that lives in the woods but has long blonde hair, and I was like, ooh, hot blonde.
Okay, I need to know what color's her hair.
Blonde. Yeah, I won't. I'm pretty stereotypical when it comes to my women. I mean, they're a fucking cartoon, and they all look like they're like children, so I don't know. It's kind of weird playing it all together, anyways.
So it's
Because at least in the Super Nintendo version, it was all your imagination, and this one is just like, how old are these people?
they're
Like, I don't-
actually 20,
why-
but the problem is they're all chibified, so they all look like they're 2.
Yeah,
so.
like even the guy that I am, it's like, why am I running a farm? Shouldn't I be in a crib? Like, what
Yeah,
the
you
fuck
look
is
at what your
happening?
character looks like. You're like, I look like I should be in daycare.
Yeah, but oh, here's your grandfather's farm. Like, all right, I live alone. This is fine. But yeah, like it's a simple game. Like, I mean, I'm fucking hoeing my funny. I'm tilling my
Hauling your
land
ass?
and I'm putting
No, we're not
onions,
playing Brick
I'm
Breaker
putting
anymore, Vish.
radishes. Nah.
No.
It's
definitely
just
a lot
super
more relaxed than
casual
Brick
and
Breaker.
calming. Yeah, this is a lot more relaxing. Super calming game. And it's one of my favorite parts is they used a lot of the music from the original Harvest Moon game and just remastered it. And I absolutely just love it. Like, I don't know. The game is it's like comfort food. I've been playing this since I was 12 years old, like the very first Harvest Moon. Maybe 13, but no, I think no, 12. I was in like grade 8 or grade 7. And I've just always loved them, and the fact that it's on the Switch and like I can play, I can get in bed and play a little bit into the night, or if I, it's the middle of the day and I'm on my lunch from work and want to do something to relax and not think about the stress of the world outside of the house. This is the game. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Curiousness, I'm trying to find like all the girls that are in this game to see. Okay, just from looks, what would I go with? That's what I'm trying to do.
Check
I
Pornhub.
think
Okay, I think
there was a girl that
I don't
had
think this is
short
the right
hair,
game.
and I know
Is this
you
the
like
same
short hair.
thing? I don't think I got the right
There
thing.
was a
here.
girl.
Oh, maybe
Story
I
of
got a
Season
different
Friends of
one
Mineral
here. Oh, I think I did the wrong thing. I think that's why.
Hmm.
But this is really important.
Yeah,
I got to figure out who I go with right away.
There was a girl that had short hair, and I think when I saw her, I was like, "Yeah,
Okay, never
this
mind.
is Adam's
Jennifer's
girl.
cool. She's got a cool hat.
Yeah, she does have a cool hat. That was also one of her.
Oh, but never
selling
mind. Karen's
features,
in this
quote,
game.
unquote,
Oh no, I have to default to Karen. That's just the rule. That's Harvest Moon 64.
Yeah, and
rule.
Yes, Karen was honestly my number 2, and I did give her flowers sometimes just to feel like a bit of a badass.
Oh, I see.
because
So they
run a
basically
farm.
just added Jennifer in because everybody else was.
Yes,
everybody else is
she's
still the
new.
same. They changed the name on a couple of them because I think Ron was Anne in 64, and I
Yes.
think Marie was Maria.
Yeah, so they used
That's
the
really strange. Unless
so
they're
this is
doing
a remake.
Could
Yeah.
they be doing it to avoid copyright?
These are the.
or-
I
But no,
don't
that wouldn't make
think
sense because they
so.
kept Karen and Potpourri.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's
I
real,
think
that's actually
these
pretty
are.
strange.
That's actually in Japan. What the names are supposed to be, or something like that. I can't remember. I think it was like an Ares and Aerith kind of situation.
That makes sense.
Where they put the correct names in.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
really
'cause this
fucks
is a
me up
remake
now
of
that
the
it's
Game
not
Boy
Aerith
Advance
anymore.
game.
Now that the remake's officially here and like it's Aerith now, I'm like, this is really fucking with me.
Yes, yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, so this is just my relaxing game, and it's pretty funny getting engaged or dating in the game or something. It's actually just a preserved flower that like cost you fucking nothing to get. I was like, wow, if engagement rings were that cheap, Jesus.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's a good.
man,
But yeah,
that
so I'll
day
move on from
scares
that
me.
because I don't. There's nothing else. Oh, actually, I will mention in the game you get to name your animals. So I have 4 chickens, and I thought I was hilarious because first chicken, because you can get like white or brown chickens. White chicken, first one I named it Nugget after
Yes!
Nakaza. I'm a genius there. 2 for the brown chicken, I named it Dark Meat because that's when you cook chicken. Third
Oh,
one, I got
Dark
another
Meat
chicken, named him Tendy, like chicken tendies. And then the
Nice.
last one I named Bucket, like a KFC bucket of chicken.
They all know their fate.
Shoutouts to my sister who's also playing the game, Marley, and she is way better at the name. So she got a sheep, and she named it. Wait, is it a sheep? Or no, maybe it'd be an alpaca. But either way, she named it Wool I Am instead of Will I Am, which I
That
thought
is
was pretty
awesome.
clever. Yeah, like she's got. Oh, I wish I had the list here because she has a chicken named Hen Solo. Not Han Solo, but Hen Solo. Oh, such good names. She's very clever with her name.
That shouldn't be as good as it should. as it is.
I love that also on stream, Adam, you've put Nugget up.
Well, I couldn't resist any chance to do it. It reminds me too, like I watched because we'll talk about, actually, you know what, I'll even just briefly announce, like GDQ obviously just finished, $2.75 million raised. I watched a few of the stuff, right? So it just reminds me because they did Yakuza 6, which was really fun to watch. And the one incentive was, and I know Vish hasn't seen it before, so I'm actually gonna pull it up here in the chat. I won't have the audio probably because I don't want to risk DMCA, but there was one incentive for Yakuza 6 that was called Rugby Baby, which is this infamous scene in Yakuza 6, as I put it on the stream here, where it's you about to like get like taken over by a bunch of Korean mafia dudes, and there just happens to be a baby that you're taking care of. So instead of obviously doing the smart thing, which is just running away, they suddenly play like legit rugby with the baby tossing it around, so you guys are gonna see it here on the stream. And it's just it's one of those things, it's supposed to be a serious scene, and it just ends up being one of the funniest fucking things. Because it's like,
the baby okay in the end?
The baby's
so
fine.
good.
Baby's super chill. Like you'll see as the scene goes on here, when you look through my screen share, that like baby's just fucking vibing by the end of it. He's just like, this is the greatest thing ever.
You were not kidding.
The baby's probably enjoying this shit.
And yeah, like the fact that so many people at GDQ this year got to see it for the first time is just one of the funniest things.
Kid's so happy. That makes no sense.
Kid's like, yeah! So I apologize for people on audio, but legit, like pause this podcast right now, go on YouTube and search Yakuza Rugby Baby. You will not be fucking sorry. It's like two of the funniest minutes you'll enjoy all day. Oh man.
And this is why I love video games, now especially the Yakuza series. I gotta play so much more of this. I gotta stop playing some of the games I'm playing and just go play Yakuza again.
Well, you also want to play through all the trails. It's just like, you have all these things, like, I want to play through these things. Like, you know how much time that's going to take, right?
There's not enough hours in the day.
But yeah,
speaking of not enough
Rugby
hours
Baby
in
is
the
fucking
day,
amazing. That's all I got to say about that.
Yes, that is fantastic.
Hail Mary, baby!
Oh my god, it's just so good to see that. How is this happening? And the baby's still so happy. And shout out to
I couldn't help any chance to put Yakuza on the screen. I will do that any chance I get.
Yeah, and shout outs to AGDQ getting that 2.7 million. That's
it's
fucking
amazing, the fact that they were able to almost hit 3 million with a pandemic era. They almost did it both. I think the previous two GDQs pre-pandemic hit 3 million. The last two haven't, but it's still amazing to get over 2 million with people that, quite honestly, really need the money too right now. So
yeah, that's the crazy part, right? So another game I played and finally finished after 70 hours was Jurassic World Evolution.
Oh Jesus, that's how much time it took you?
Yeah, but that's because I bought all the DLC. And I went into it. And I want to talk about just the last piece of DLC I played because it was my favorite DLC I've played in a really long time. And it was the Return to Jurassic Park DLC. So the game, being a management sim game, takes place now after Jurassic World. So it's like the park goes to shit. You go back to the island, you fix it, reopen Jurassic World. Pretty simple, right? It's instead of roller coasters and whatnot or a zoo, you're reopening Jurassic World. Pretty simple. They came out with DLC though called Return to Jurassic Park. And the great thing about this game is it's narrated by Jeff Goldblum. They actually got him to do a lot of
that's
dialogue.
Amazing.
And that's in the main game because he's I guess because he was going to be in the Jurassic World 2 movie. I guess they were able to get him to also do this game. He is fantastic in it. It's so good. But the Return to Jurassic Park, first he was in that movie too, so they bring him back. But it's you and Alan Grant and Ellie Sadler and John Hammond, and you actually go back to the original park, and the year's like 1994. So it's the same game, only they've revamped every asset in the game and done it based on the old movies. All the dinosaurs got slightly updated to look like the original movies, not the Jurassic World ones. And you're playing as them, and you're going through and rebuilding that park. So it was just I mean, the music is fantastic. They didn't get the original voice actors for everybody. Only, obviously, Jeff Goldblum is in Malcolm again because he was already narrating the game in general. But the voice actors they got, especially for Ellie Sadler and Alan Grant, they sounded pretty spot on. They were as close as you could get to not actually hiring them.
So
and
I'm assuming it was better than the ones for Jurassic World, which you said were kind of weird.
Oh my God, like the one for Chris Pratt sounds like a guy who's been punched in the nose and can't breathe through it. He's just, what the hell? Like, who did you choose? I don't know who it is. The voice acting is great, but it doesn't sound like Chris Pratt in the slightest. Like,
had it not been Chris Pratt, it would have been okay.
Yeah. Because they have a lot of other voices in the game where it's like just a different, like head of security, head of the science division, head of this, and they're doing an amazing job. It's just, if you're going to try and impersonate the celebrity, you should probably try and sound like that character from the movie, right?
You know, one thing I think is crazy about Jurassic Park? Samuel L. Jackson was such a minor character that you forget he's in the movie.
Yeah.
And now he's arguably the biggest person who was in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they should do a sequel where he never
like
died.
The all-time movie
highest grossing actor in history.
Yeah.
But it's also because of how many movies. Because
to be fair, he has the unfair advantage of literally being in every Marvel movie at some points.
No.
Yeah.
But he actually,
and Star Wars.
Like he says, like,
oh, yeah.
Like he is in a lot of movies, and he says, "I just enjoy being in movies. I enjoy what I do." So he just keeps signing up for things.
He's also smart as fuck on what he signs up for at that point.
Yeah,
not really. Like,
I mean, he generally speaking, like, do we see a lot of like Oscar Sam Jackson movies? We don't. He goes for blockbusters.
No, I'm just saying
he goes
that
for
this guy,
he's smart.
He enjoys his craft. He enjoys what he does.
He enjoys the good stuff because he goes for the fun movies and not the ones that nobody's heard of until December.
Because he says, like,
you don't sign up for
look
Snakes
at him like Samuel L. Jackson,
thinking you're going to get an Oscar.
He's in several movies a year.
For that scene alone, he should have.
I'm sick of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking place.
I watched a little bit of the first episode of the History of Swearing. I thought it was pretty fun. I didn't watch the full episode. I was like, okay, this is actually, I want to watch this shit.
I mean, you didn't have to say much to me. All I had to do was just be like, swear words and Nicolas Cage, and I'd be like, you had me at before you breathe.
Hello.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I just was really impressed by Frontier, who's the developer on this game, that they did this Return to Jurassic Park DLC, and like they killed it. It was almost like a whole new game. Like it's the same basic way to play the game, but all of the assets, like every single one, got changed. Like you were just seeing on the screen a second ago, the Velociraptor Pit, which in Jurassic World there was no like caged pit that you kept the Velociraptors in. Owen Grady was training them, and they were out and like running around. So you actually have to house raptors differently, and I don't think either of you are ever going to play this. And it's probably not even really a spoiler because this game can't really have that.
I probably won't.
No, but the last mission on the DLC is that all of the Velociraptors in that cage, all of the power of the park goes out. You can't send any guests to shelters or anything like that, and the raptors get out of their pen, and another company has kind of got into their DNA and started feeding them something that makes them immune to tranquilizers. There's like a super amount of adrenaline or something in their body. So you have a park with like 5,000 people open. Jurassic Park's finally reopened, and now all these Velociraptors get out, and the only thing that you can do is choose to destroy the fences surrounding the Tyrannosaurus Rex and let him run through the park and kill the Velociraptors, because the T-Rex would apparently want to do that to be the alpha of the land of their area, right? And it's just,
I thought you would have just built a wall.
No, you can't. No, even if you built the wall, the raptors were smashing against them and breaking all the fences.
Ooh.
And you could see on the screen a second ago, like you can see that they even got like stills from the original movie and stuff when the certain characters are talking and whatnot. So they just went all out with this. It was such a good way to end off that game, because I already put like 50 hours in, and to put another 20 basically in this DLC, I almost didn't want to stop. Which actually leads into my next game I played because I was so hooked on this type of game. I went back into Planet Coaster. And Planet Coaster is made by the same developer. It's their first outing in this style of game. They loved Roller Coaster Tycoon, apparently. So they made their own roller coaster game. Way better than any of the new Roller Coaster Tycoon games ever since whoever bought them. I think it's Atari or Activision. I don't know. But yeah, so Roller Coaster Tycoon, not Roller Coaster Tycoon, Planet Coaster, same idea as the Jurassic World, only now it's an amusement park. And I've been going through. I'd only played 6 hours before, but I was just achievement hunting because you can open your own park and just do things specifically for achievements, like have 3 guests die on one roller coaster ride. So I wasn't actually playing the game. I was building a roller coaster that just shot up straight into the air with no more tracks, so that and it could hold 300 people and they all die. So like I was just doing that kind of shit. Now I've actually gone in and I'm playing the career mode, which is where it's like, here's a park, here's 6 objectives, go through and do it. And I'm going through it now. I've done 5 objectives out of like, I don't know, maybe 30. But it's again something I'm just going to kind of play on the side. I'm still really in the mood to play a management sim style game like this because they're so addicting, and it's just something that I wasn't able to do before without a desk at my previous condo. So now that I have a desk, I want to get all the PC style gaming in, just because I haven't been able to for so long.
Not to mention they have Planet Zoo as well.
And I bought Planet Zoo during the winter sale, but I figured I should probably finish this because I'd started it and walked away from it. Finish this when it's done. I've already installed it, but I'll start playing Planet Zoo right after that. Which is one I've never played before. I've never played a zoo management game. I mean, Jurassic World is close, but I've never played.
It pretty much is.
Yeah, it's fairly close.
Unless there's a mission at the end of Planet Zoo where it's like, all right, so planet power goes out and there's 6 really hungry cheetahs.
Release the lion. Yeah, like that'd be the equivalent.
No, there's just a T-Rex for some reason.
That'd be so good. Oh, I'd be quick, research its genome. What are you talking about? But yeah, so this game just is again another time killing like really nice game to just play. Reminds me of my childhood kind of thing. Very relaxing. It's like playing The Sims, I assume, for like you, Adam, when you were playing that a lot not too long ago.
Yeah, it's just tinkering with stuff.
Yeah. The last game I've actually started, I've been playing this on my Xbox. This is actually a bigger game. Again, I won't have too much to say about it, but it's called A Plague Tale: Innocence. And it is a very beautiful, graphic, heavy game that doesn't have any combat, but it's a story where you're a 15-year-old girl living in France in 1348.
So happier times.
Yeah, especially for a guy like me, happier times for sure.
I mean, for a woman too, happier times.
Yeah. It's also not happy because I managed to somehow start the game that is about the bubonic plague
during a pandemic.
During a pandemic.
So so this idiot goes and does Last of Us, and then Chris is like, "No, fam, I'm going to the original fucking plague."
No. I do the Last of Us too. Chris is like, "Hold my beer." I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Chris is like,
it's like, no, man, I'm getting the time machine for this one.
No. I'm sorry. I play the Last of Us too. Chris is like, "Hold my Guinness."
Yeah.
Chris, at least tell me it was a hot tub time machine. At least tell me that.
Oh, that's the only type of time machine I know.
Good. Okay.
Besides the DeLorean.
It's acceptable.
I drive my
now.
DeLorean to the hot tub.
Wait. The DeLorean hot tub time machine.
That is, oh man, I'm getting horny just thinking of that.
Can we get like another movie where it's just Back to the Future mixed with hot tub time machine? Can we just do that?
I think we need that. To be honest.
I think the world needs that after this last like 12 months and still ongoing.
Yes.
But you're right though. I am looking at the footage for Plague Tale. It looks fucking gorgeous.
It is. It's definitely like a graphical showpiece. So the story, without giving away too much, is there is a family, and you're the girl and the boy, and all of a sudden something starts happening. People are dying, and some crazy shit starts happening. It turns out the game is very focused on rats. because it's rats that have the plague. But the thing is
Yeah.
you will go into the bottom of a building and there will literally be 1 million rats everywhere. And the idea is they won't go in the light. So you have to find fire or something so you can walk, or you have to light something on fire or something along those lines, or else the rats will literally eat you alive. And it's horrific when you die, by the way, because it's like instant. And you'll see a scene where there's a character running. And it's cool because it's like the 1300s, right? So everything's very cool looking and all that. And you'll see like a monk running and he'll fall, and like you just see the wave of rats.
What year did this game come out?
It was too long ago.
No, it was either last year or the year before.
Oh, okay. So
I know. I think it was
contemporary.
2019. Yeah, I don't think it was 2020. I think it was 2019.
Okay, so it's pretty
It
contemporary.
was, yeah, May 2019.
Yeah. I'd always wanted to play this on Steam just because of the way it looked and everything, but it was one of those ones where it's like, I'll wait till it's on sale and a good price. Well, it's on Xbox Game Pass, and I was like, fuck it. I've always wanted to play this, and I don't know when it's going to disappear from Game Pass. Excuse me, so I better play it now. But yeah, like it's there's the only combat is she has a sling, the main characters, with a rock on it. So you can use it to knock down a chandelier that has fire on it, and it will start to swing. And you will literally have to go onto one side and run under the chandelier as it's swinging, because the rats don't go outside during the light or near fire. But yeah, it's like a horrific game. Like you hit chapter 3 out of 16, and all of a sudden that's when like the rats become everywhere. Like at first you're in a village, it's like, where is everybody? And then it's like, oh, never mind, fuck that shit. They're like, they have like glowing eyes and everything. So they took the plague, because of course rats were one of the reasons the Black Plague went everywhere, but they fucking intensified it in this game, where it's like, no, like the rats are actually taking over the planet. Like they're like vampires and everything.
So it's
You'll see a
Resident
character-
Evil with rats.
Yeah, it's like Resident Evil, but obviously slightly.
Actually, sorry,
Yeah?
sorry to be that dick and just
Just because you're the birthday
correct you.
boy.
So actually in Resident Evil 2, I don't know if you ever played that game, the OG one. Did you
I
ever
haven't
play
played
it?
the OG one.
I'm waiting.
Okay. So it was shown in a cutscene. Rats were the reason the T virus went quote unquote viral. Rats, the T virus vial spilled. Rats were licking it and eating it, got infected, and started biting people. That's how the
Yeah.
T virus spread in the game.
So the Umbrella Corporation caused the Black Plague. All right, we figured it out, guys.
pretty
I
much.
knew it. I knew it. But yeah, like this one, I guess the difference here is it doesn't cause any zombies. The rats themselves are basically the
It
zombies.
just
Like,
causes death.
If you're in a yeah, like you'll see a character fall over and like something like 10,000 rats just go over them, and it's this horrific scene. And then you walk by with fire and the rats go to the side. Like it's really amazing that the developers were able to make it that as you walk around with fire, they're able to make so many individual rats like move around the screen and get out of your way. But you'll walk and then all of a sudden the rats move out of the way and you're just standing over a horrifically eaten almost down to the bone body, and it's like, oh, what the fuck. Like, it's a very graphic game. When it wants to be gross graphic, it's great, and then when it wants to be very pretty, like you can kind of see on the screen now, it's very pretty.
Kind of like so from what I'm just like this, it's more of like a story-based dramatic game rather than like a lot
Very,
more,
very much, yes.
rather than more of like
Yeah.
actual like gameplay wise.
Yeah, it's story, puzzle solving, and exploration.
Okay.
Like you're in a room, there's rats everywhere, you're in a basement, and it's dark, and your brother Hugo's on the other side. How do you get to him?
It's
You
almost
use
like
your sling,
Hugo.
you hit one chandelier, it falls.
it's almost like playing an Uncharted game without the combat.
Yeah, take
That
the
would be
guns
so
out of
boring.
Uncharted.
Not in this case, because it's more the horrifying aspect of it.
Yeah, this one works because of how horrifying everything is. Because it's if you screw up the puzzle, you're eaten alive, and it's horrific, and you see it. Well,
Not to mention
it's-
what games
it
like
happened to
this
me
do,
once.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming, is that it takes so much more time to build its story, build its characters, because it has a very limited
Yes.
window to work with, so it doesn't have to focus so much on things like combat or things like anything that's really outside of the realm of just the immediate stuff that you're looking at. So
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, so I just started this yesterday. I've done 3 chapters, and I think there's 16 in total. So I'm gonna go through it, get all the achievements. I looked, none of them are like ridiculous that I wouldn't want to do it, because I hate achievements where it's like, oh, beat the game where you like never touch a door. And it's like, I touched like 30,000 doors. Like, how the hell? So this one's all normal, just like find all the flowers in the game. Yeah, cool. I'll do that as I play through. So I'm gonna 100% this. It'll be another Xbox 100%. Woo-woo. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I've been playing.
Well, I guess
But still a lot, actually.
I guess that leaves it up to me then. So, just been Trails of Cold Steel 4 for me. That's literally been it. I'm now at, I want to say the ticker was just shy of 50, but that's probably more like 40 because there's been a lot of idle time. I basically boot my PlayStation every time I get home, and then half the time I'll like do something while I'm waiting.
How many hours are you into it right now?
I'm probably
roughly?
like, the ticker says about 47, 48. It's probably more like 40 given how much time the console will just stay on while I'm doing something else. But yeah, probably about 40. I just finished the first act, which is why I texted you guys in the Discord that, yeah, I fucking cried like a bitch. So
what happened to make you get that?
Well, I'm going to try to be as vague as possible, obviously, because it's the 4th game in a pretty long-running series, so it's pretty serious spoilers.
How long ago did this game come out?
This game like came out very recently, and even then, I'm still not going to spoil it because I have respect for fans. So
that's fine.
It's still getting released.
I'm really
stuff later.
I'm asking out of my planes of my own curiosity.
I know, and as I said, I'm going to be vague because I don't.
That's fine, Adam. I'm still just asking you.
And I gave you my answer, so shut the fuck up and listen. So, basically, I'm sure I mentioned it when I went through my Trails of Cold Steel 3 review thing last year when we talked about it. So there is a point at the very end of Trails 3 that broke the fuck out of me. And that's not because it's like so dumbfoundingly like emotionally hurt. Like it really does like hurt in some level. Like I even got spoiled on what this thing was. So I knew what it was coming and it still affected me. It's because again, Trails is so good at getting you into its lore, getting you into its characters, even when you know what's coming and you've prepared yourself. It doesn't matter because you've spent basically 3 games at that point and like 200-300 hours with these characters. You love them all because it's pretty hard to find like a party member that you don't like. So when one of them kicks the bucket, it's like Aerith times 10 because there's so much more time spent with this one character than you ever would have spent with Aerith. So Trails 3 ends, I cry at that moment. And then in Trails 4, there's a moment where everybody kind of comes back together for the first time, and you hear all these voices, almost like this rallying cry, and you hear the faint voice of that person in Trails 3 that you lost, and the moment that voice echoed, it just just went immediate to, oh fuck, here it comes again. So yeah, I had, and it was like one of those things where you're trying to hold it in because as any like, you know, toxic masculinity induced guy says, you're trying really hard not to cry. So I'm doing these things of like you're trying so hard just to be like, you're taking deep breaths just to kind of like hang in there. And then finally it was just, they show the person, like it's obviously like a spectral thing of it, like a force ghost, but still you see the person, and that was it. Just boom. That was the moment where it was like, okay, nope, we're not holding this back anymore. And that was that. So I'm now at the point where I've gotten past at least hopefully the emotional trauma, and now we can move on to kicking some fucking ass, because now we're at the point of the game where it's like, all right, it's time to take care of shit. And that's where I'm at now. The game is starting to finally do some of the things that I've been praying it would do long enough. So Trails, as it's gone through its entire story, you know how in JRPGs, Chris, sometimes boss battles, even though you win the battle, you don't actually win the battle because then the cutscene plays and you actually lose?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Trails
so there's
loves...
there's like another boss.
No, it's just straight up you win the battle, but then the cutscene plays and it's like, you aren't strong enough. And it's like, what the fuck? Clearly I won.
Oh yeah,
clearly was.
It's
Those are
it's like
bitch.
if you it's almost like if you go play Uncharted and you shoot a guy in the fucking head and he falls down and then the cutscene plays and he kicks you in the balls and throws you off a cliff. Be like, ha! I am clearly the stronger one.
Why the fuck did that happen in Uncharted?
It's just the example I made.
No, he's saying if.
I gotta play on layman's terms with you there, buddy. So
Dude, I played the entire series. I've never seen that happen once.
it was a hypothetical, you idiot. Jesus.
If I'm an idiot, I would have said, then I probably missed something. But I'm just saying, Uncharted is a bad example to use that with.
So, anyways,
That's
Trails
the
likes to do this
perfect
thing where,
hypothetical.
you have a boss battle, you'll win, but then the thing will be like, it'll show you kneeling, like you're out of breath, like you've just been completely spent, and it's like, wait a minute, but I did the thing, I did good, and it's been doing that for fucking all 3 games, and it's been dry. Like, if there's one complaint I have with Trails, it's like, guys, you gotta give me something I can actually beat. Come on, I gotta beat somebody. Monsters I kill. Anytime I fight a human, I lose by the cutscene. Fuck, just have me win one. And it's finally at the point where I'm not winning one, but I'm at least staying with the battle. I'm at least not fucking gassed. I'm like, okay, we're making progress now. And I just finished a boss battle where I actually fucking won. I'm like, I can do things. So I'm at that point where it's like, hey, I might not be a useless piece of shit for once.
For once.
But then at the same time, I'm also having to use the church to help me. So as an atheist, it's really pissing me off. So it takes my hatred away and replaces it with something else. So it's one of those things where it's like, great, I finally got rid of the one thing I didn't like, and you just completely threw something right back in there that's like, look, I'm not mad, just disappointed.
Well, Adam, like I said,
Church airships.
Like you said, with the church and everything, just don't go into that one room.
Yeah, I made the joke. It's like, well, you know what? At least there's no children on the airship that's run by the church. And then I went, wait, they specifically told me not to go into the engine room. Ah, shit.
It had to be the engine room also.
Well, yeah, because it's real hot in there. Anyways,
So everyone called the police.
I mean, I'm an anime
Adam,
fan.
I have a quick question about the battle system.
Yes.
So, is it that you get to choose to move a character and then attack? Or
Yeah,
is
so it's
a
like Final
move-
Fantasy with being able to move around the field freely.
But it's not active movement.
No.
Like
You only
Tales
have
of
like
game,
it's like
because
you have a move stats that tells you how much distance you can cover in one turn.
Oh, okay. So it's more like you select the spot and then they move.
I mean,
to that
generally
spot.
speaking, if
Okay.
you have a move rating of 8 or more, you pretty much can go to any enemy you want, because enemies don't retreat; they always come towards you anyway. So the move stat's
Okay.
only really good if you're like trying to get out of trouble and heal, or if you just really want to like quickly get at somebody and take a snap at them when they're right at the start of the battle. That's really the use for moving around. Otherwise, it's placement, because certain spells have certain areas of effect. So like some are only small areas, some are large areas. So sometimes it makes sense to have the move option. So it's like, oh shit, you're about to cast a really big ass healing spell. Get that fucker back over there before it's too late, so we can get hit.
But if you just select to melee someone, it looks like the character just
If they're
kind
in
of runs
range,
up
which
there and does it.
more often than not they are. Like unless you for some reason have your move at like
Okay.
a 4, like really low, you pretty much will guaranteed. And some of your characters also have ranged attacks. So like one of them has a gun. Some of
Okay.
them have like these orbital staffs that like cast like magic like spells, like these magic spheres or something. And there's the girl that I put in our award show as the actually you can see her on the screen right now, Euna Crawford, who I said was the best female character I played all year. Her weapons are really cool because she's the only character that switches between. So she has both a melee and a ranged mode. So you can actually use her pretty nicely for both. So you can have her, and her range can actually hit multiple enemies if they're in that area. So it's really useful because it may be less damage, but you can get more enemies at the same time, or you can just switch to the one-on-one mode where you just beat the shit out of them. So she's pretty nice for utility. And I'm starting to get to that point too where I'm being able to break my characters a little bit. My one guy, I think I told you about how I broke one guy so that he pretty much evaded everything. He's at 40% evasion now.
Oh, fuck.
And I just got a certain character back, and I already put his critical rate up to 20%. So he has a 1 in 5 shot of hitting a critical every time.
Wow.
And I think I mentioned it too.
Every time you show this game.
The on the list there's a couple of points. There's health bar, magic bars, and there's something called the CP bar, which goes up to 200. So this guy, he does a special like move, and it'll sometimes cost me anywhere between 20 and 80 CP. Every time he kills somebody, he gets 16 CP back. Every turn, he gets 3 CP back, and that's his normal abilities. However, I have items on him that increase the percentage of the boost. So I have 2 items on him that give him a total of 90% extra boost. So now it's more like every time he gets a kill, it's like 30, and every turn he makes back like 6 or 7.
Okay, so he's basically always.
So basically, I can just keep spamming abilities every turn because I'm just gonna get it back.
Fuck! Every time you talk about this game, it just makes me want to install Trails of the Sky. No, wait.
Trails in the Sky would be the first one.
Trails in the Sky. Yeah, Trails of the Sky. Trails in the Sky.
Is Trails of the Sky
it.
part of the Trails of Cold Steel series?
It is the original series. Like the Legend of Heroes spans. I think the Legend of Heroes might be older, but the specific like world that they've built started with Sky. So technically, and I think I mentioned it before, this game is like the 9th of the series that's taken place in this world. And now it's at the point, too, that I've gotten far enough in the game that I've pretty much got most of the party members from Sky and from the Trails to Azure series all together. So it's now at the point that like everything's coming full circle. And the following game that's going to come out after this one literally has you play. I think like they're giving you 4 main characters and 3 of them are the lead characters from those 3 arcs. So it's literally like everything's coming together now. So it's one of those, it would be like if Final Fantasy had a game where they somehow linked 7, 8, 9, and 10 all together and into one big-ass story, except Square couldn't do that because they can barely tell one story anymore, let alone fucking put 4 together. Whereas, for whatever reason, Falcom has no problem taking 9 games and making sense out of everything because unless like you have no idea who any of these people are, it's a little bit confusing, but I know pretty much everything I need to know about these people, and they've weaved this all in so seamlessly. It seems like they've always been there. Because the entire timeline, I think, of the Trail series is like 5 years. So there's not even like a massive amount of time in between. So all the characters don't really have to be aged at all. They've just been around. They've had experience.
Wait, sorry, all 9 games take place within 5 years?
It's something like that. Like it's less than a decade.
Holy shit.
Like literally,
Holy shit.
I just met the characters from Trails in the Sky and they pretty much look like they haven't aged. Maybe like they've gone from maybe 16 to 21, but in anime years that makes them look like they've gone from 16 to 16 and a half. So
fuck. Okay, I have one other question. When you've beaten the previous games and you spent like 150 hours in here, you didn't get every achievement or trophy, did you?
Oh god, no.
Fuck
mind
me.
you,
So
mind you, I don't
higher.
even. I think some of the games like I had maybe 30%, but I think that's also saying you probably have to do X amount of like certain strikes or like you have. It's like how there are certain things in Mass Effect I would never do. Like it's like use this power X number of times. I'm like I don't like that power. I'm sure there's a lot of things like if I actually went through the achievements for Trails 3, which is really the last one that I went through, I'd probably look at all these things and be like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. Like, because there are things that's like,
get 300.
There's probably things like, hey, get every conceivable version of every cooking food that you can make. Because there's like a cooking side thing that you can do that gets you certain items and stuff. It's probably like, okay, do all those. And it's like, all right, we'll get an S rank in these things. Make sure you play this mini game and get this high score. Like, it's probably stuff like that I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. Like there's a mini game in Trails 4 that's like almost like what's the thing I'm looking for? It's not, I guess it's like Tetris, but it's more of like the Wario's Woods level stuff.
That game's fun still.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
I'm trying to think, is it Bubble Bobble that might be that? Or am I thinking of something like Dr.
Columns?
Like any of those kind of puzzle games, like competitive, like one-on-one puzzle
Columns
game, like
from Sega Genesis?
Maybe I'm glazing over, but there's one of those kind of games in there, and I fucking hate it because I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm busy fucking grinding. I don't need to spend time playing a pseudo Tetris clone. But the fucking trading card game in this game is fucking fun. I will play Vantage Masters. That's a fun trading card game. They have their Gwent, and it's fucking nice.
Oh fuck! Wait a minute. It has a puzzle game and Gwent inside this game.
Yes.
Oh, fuck me right in the fucking face. What the hell?
But
am
it's
I
only
supposed to do
4.
here?
Actually,
9 games.
wait. Is Vantage Master started in 3, so I think there's only 2 games with the card game, and then this one's the first one to bring in the puzzle game. So 1 and 2 is a little lighter.
That's so much game. That's so much game. Like, I don't even know how I'm gonna do all this. I want to. I have to. I'm looking at these images, and like, this is the game I need in my life. Fuck.
Also, this game is anime as fuck,
Right,
and
well-
it's not apologetic of it. Jesus
Is it
Christ.
is it more 3D or is it more toon shader?
Well, I mean, you can see it on the stream right now, can't you?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just like,
I mean, it's
from what
it's 3D / anime look to it kind of deal. Like it's
It's anime if it
it's
went
a
3D.
hybrid almost.
it almost looks like what you would see on like a PlayStation Vita. Like that's where the game's kind of original.
Yeah,
like
okay.
PSP Vita. I don't think this game was like still built for consoles. I think at best they might have built this for PS3. Because like it's not a visual masterpiece. Like the
I
entire
found that most
although-
of the anime games,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, I even just played the demo for Ys 9, and I looked at, and it's pretty much the same graphical quality. And I looked at, it, I'm like, I think just Falcom realizes we don't care about visual fidelity. We just want to make really good games with great stories. To which I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
So what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, that when it comes to anime games, like I've noticed with what this one looks like, the Tales of games, all of that, like they're very pretty to look at. Like I look at this and I think this game looks gorgeous, but it's not like they're pushing any boundaries.
It's not an RTX
graphically.
on game.
Yeah. They're going for the anime style. It's like they figured out their style and they're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna.
You know
do
what?
this
I wouldn't
forever.
call it
That's the
beautiful.
one.
I would call it charming. I think that's what I would probably direct it to.
Charming. Yes, sorry, that's the word. That's a perfect word for it. Yeah.
And with lots
I mean,
of titties.
this is anime as fuck, and I want to play it.
Lots of
So,
titties.
I love anime. Yeah, lots of titties. That just makes me want to play it even more.
And Chris is like, I'm okay with titties.
I guess I'll be okay with it just to play these games.
Well, it's a good thing that I have 3 and 4 available digitally when we console share. So boom.
It's weird the word you're using good because I don't know about my backlog, but it does not think
Wait
what
a
you
minute.
just said is good.
I can also wait.
I-
I can also just lend you my PlayStation TV and give you Trails 1 and 2 on disc.
Would Cold Steel
Yeah,
or
Cold
Sky?
Steel.
Okay,
So I
'cause
can at
have
least avoid you
Sky
spending
on
into
Steam.
your
So
backlog for
Chris's
4
goal of finishing more than 70 games this year just plummeted. With
So for
Trails game.
Chris at this point just has to hope that Trails to Azure never gets localized in English because that will just add 2 more games to his backlog. Because right now it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Sky and Cold Steel. Because apparently Falcom just doesn't
Yeah.
want to take the time to do these other ones.
The way I see it is I can throw this in. I have to beat 6 games a month if I want to go with my like goal for the year. If I do that, but this is just one of those games it's like with us with when we play Killing Floor. That's just on the side. I play it. It's not the 6. If I beat the 6, cool. I can go back and play this more. It's just it can't be one of those 6 though because I'm not beating it in a month.
It is.
I mean, I could beat it in a month, but it's the only one I'm beating.
It is the
in a
beauty
month.
though because it is a story that like as I keep playing it, like I said, I didn't expect to be crying playing this game, and even though, like I said, the moment I cried in 3, I knew exactly what was happening, and it wasn't even a character that I was like super into. Like it wasn't even like my top 5 that got knocked off. It was still a moment where it was like, fuck, it still hits because again, even with the fact that like it wasn't even like one of my favorites or it wasn't like this, even though I knew it was coming, it's just they build the lore so well that you really get into it. I mean, if you're into it, because Trails is a lot of reading. That's the one thing I warn people. It's a lot of reading. You don't go into
I'm good with that.
You don't go into an NPC's house looking to break pots and get rupees like you would in most adventure games. You're going in there to get plot. And I'm not even talking anime plot.
It's not. There's not a lot of dialogue. It's more of
there is voice dialogue, but generally speaking, like it's just a lot of reading. I mean, most of these games, again, were built on, like, Vita, so it's not like they had a lot of space to cram in fucking thousands of lines, so.
Yeah.
It's disappointing in 4, because there's some scenes where I'm like, man, this would have been great if they had some dialogue in some of these. Like, there's one moment where Euna, again, who's quickly becoming one of my favorite JRPG characters, period. There's a moment where she finally gets a chance to say something she's been wanting to say since the beginning of the first game. And when you finally get that moment, it's not voiced. And I'm
Madden
like, that's
blessings.
disappointing. That's so disappointing. Thank you for ruining that, by the way. It's so disappointing that, like, what to me is a really important moment for her isn't voiced. So you don't get that proper, like, emotion to it. And even then, like, it still was like, oh, that's really sweet to see that. But even in the back of my mind, I'm like, fuck, that would have been so much better if she voiced it.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably was a hardware limitation for what they were aiming for initially.
Oh, for sure. I don't even know, like, actually, I wonder, what was this released on in total? It might just be PS4 and PS5 now. Because I don't know if they... Oh, no, well, Switch as well, but... I mean, it's technically not for PS5. I'm just playing it on a PS5. So Switch and PS4. So it could have, but I don't really hate them because, I mean, the game's really fucking good. So I'll put up with it. I will somehow... I will power through.
So with this game, like with a lot of JRPGs, the story is very convoluted and at times very difficult to like put together with everything that's happened. The storyline, is it pretty easy to follow, or is it like you kind of...
It depends
really
on what
need
you
to
define as
backtrack
easy to
sometimes?
follow. Because, I mean, like, if you haven't played the older games and you didn't do any research, it starts to get confusing down the line when it starts introducing people. But, like, I'll use 1 and 2
from the previous games.
I'll use 1 and 2 as the example because that's where I started from. I played through the first 2 games and was not confused at all and didn't have any trouble following because it doesn't really go too deep outside of its, like, current bubble. It wasn't until 3 where a key, like, town that was from Sky gets brought up that I go, I have no idea what this is. And as soon as I looked it up, I'm like, oh, that's really important. I should probably look into this, and I should look into this, and I started doing more research, and I started understanding stuff better. But I mean, the first 2 games where it really gets you into this arc, you could be fine on your own, and it's not too difficult to follow. Because like I said before, I'm sure I did, it's really old school, like, rich versus the poor, like, upper class versus lower class, like, it's a pretty good... It takes politics, it actually makes them, like, not cringy, because a lot of games try to do politics, and it just ends up being, like, either half-assed or just
Politics
here's
and
the evil
cringy?
president.
There's no such
It's not just the evil president. It really becomes like there are a lot of like people in the wealthy part of the elites that are just like, we want full control, and then there's some of them within that are like, but that's not honorable. And then there's the people in the lower class being like, well, fuck these guys, we should just kill them all. And some people in the lower class are like, all right, let's fucking chill. Like, can't we just all get along? Like, there's so many different sides within the sides that it's not just, you know, bare bones, good versus evil, rich versus poor. Like it's a lot more. It's they don't really just pull a lot of cliches. I find like there are cliches and like because any game can't avoid them, but the main crux of the story isn't just evil guy, go fight the evil guy. Like there's so much more to it than just a simple thing. And as far as I know, I don't know. I mean, there's a chance I might kill God at the end of this game, but I don't know if that's a possibility yet.
Just
unless the main evil baddie becomes God, that might be possible.
Before the last attack, just say this is for 2020 and the start of 2021.
No. That was Persona 5. I already took care of that. I already took care of it.
Oh, okay.
we did that in Discord. I told you guys I was fighting God, and I said, look, I'll do it for 2020.
Also, Adam, just to quickly throw out there, now that this has been brought up, the fact that you've been able to tackle Persona 5 and then Trails of Cold Steel 4, by the time it's going to be February, you're probably going to be done both, makes me feel like I need to step up my backlog game, because that is basically a lifetime you just spent in like 2 months.
No,
like, I don't know
you
how
just
you
need
did
to have
it.
no life like me. That's just how it is.
What else do you think I'm doing? This is my life. This podcast, and I go play games for the podcast.
Okay, fine. Get on my level, bro.
I'm sorry. I'll get more on your level.
All right, cool. But yeah, so far I'm really like, now that I'm done the first act, it's starting to open up a little bit more. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready for the fun now. So now that I got the tears out of my system, I mean, there's still room for more tears. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure somebody else is going to kick the bucket that I don't want to kick the bucket. But yeah, no, I can't wait to see where this game goes, and it's just about to heat up too. So I'm like, I said it before. The first act is really buttering me up. And once I hit that last point of the end of the first act and really got ready, I'm like, okay, yep, nope, the buttering's done. It's time to toast. Yeah. Anyways, So we got a few things to talk about in the news, which is surprising because the last 5 weeks have been just barren, apart from Cyberpunk. So we'll start with the quick things that are related to delays. I mean, Cyberpunk is among them, so you know what? Fuck it. We'll start with Cyberpunk, because why the fuck not? So
that mod that was made to make the game a third-person game, is that accessible to anybody? And
I think it's PC only, and it's not official, so there's a pretty good chance it's A, unstable, and B, probably going to get shut down.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean,
PC mods are usually not official unless they're done directly through the developer or Steam.
I mean, there was a
and
story.
This is not either of those.
There was a story that somebody made a first-person camera for Mortal Kombat, and it was just nah.
Oh, that would have been awful to do.
I saw some footage of that. It made me want to vomit.
Because it's not even first person; it's still just a camera on your head, on the shoulder of the guy. It was weird. I looked at that and be like, why would you do this? This is just no.
Because they're bored.
But no, Cyberpunk.
That they could. Yeah.
So they came out and did another basically apology tour and said what they wanted to do. So they've talked about, obviously, they did a little Q&A about all the things that they did. They said, and I quote, and I will pull this up here on the screen. So they were asked about, didn't they test old gen consoles? And they said, we did. As it turned out, our testing did not show many of the issues you experienced while playing the game. And I'm like, bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I saw issues within 10 minutes. Bullshit. You did not see frame rate issues early on. That is a load of crap. So it's damage control. But the more important thing is this fucking thing here that you guys can see on screen now, where they show the release things and they show all the hotfixes they've already done here that's highlighted in green. They show the next couple of patches, but you'll notice as it gets closer and closer to 2021, there's the next-gen console update. And that's because they've said the next-gen update is not going to happen until at least the second half of 2022, maybe the late end of 2022. So I may actually be taking the same time off for Cyberpunk for reals this time.
I don't mean to laugh.
So I may be taking time off in November again, just to see. I'm not going to have a mental breakdown about Cyberpunk. Stop saying it.
No, I am telling you, don't take any more time off Cyberpunk.
I'm a grown man, and I got 15 days, and I'm doing fuck all with them because there's a pandemic. I will take as whatever fucking days I want.
Oh boy, dude. Yeah. If you're going to take time off, go ahead, but don't take the time off just for Cyberpunk.
I mean, I'll take the time off for Cyberpunk, and then if it sucks, I'll find something else just to sink in. That's what Persona was. It's like, hey guys, I'll just fucking play Persona 5 Royal for 40 hours in 5 days,
Okay.
I got solutions.
Don't do it for Cyberpunk. That's solutions.
You're not my mom. Stop telling me what to do.
Exactly.
You're not my real dad.
I'm just suggesting you don't do it for Cyberpunk. You want to do it for cocaine or whatever, go for it.
Yes. The straight edge guy is going to do things for cocaine.
Yeah, I don't know what Vishal's talking about.
I don't even drink Coca-Cola anymore. What the fuck?
Don't do cocaine. Don't? Wait for Cyberpunk. That's the better idea.
Well, I think the bar we go to serves Pepsi products, so I don't think I drink Coke ever.
Actually, yeah. Personally, I prefer Diet Pepsi over any soft drink beverage.
Hot take. I think Diet Coke tastes better than Coke.
It does now. Now that I'm older, it does. It when I was younger, complete opposite. Now it's
even hotter take. Coca-Cola Life is the best one.
The green one.
The green
that one. Great.
Yeah, the green one's
I was so
great.
pissed when they took it off the market.
I never even tried that one.
It was made with stevia.
Fuck Steve.
What happened? Why would
I don't know.
Why'd they get rid of it?
I don't know. I think they should bring that one back.
Probably for the same reasons that a lot of things get taken off shelves, because good things don't. We aren't allowed good things. I'm enjoying the hell out of bacon mac and cheese pizza pops, and I know they're going to go away, and it's really making me mad because they're better than every pizza pop they've ever had.
So Adam
you guys are killing me with your food talk
before something happens.
Yeah.
You guys are killing me with your food talk. First, your pizza pops, your fucking haka. I had a salad for
dinner. My haka chili chicken today was fucking lit.
Just keep torturing him more. You know what? Fuck Cyberpunk. This is now the food podcast right now. So let's talk about chicken wings for the next hour, just to torture Chris.
No, fuck you.
That
Fuck you guys.
That was one of the only two things I didn't get to have today.
Man,
My salad was good, but
if I had the money to, because I would not spend $15 just to do this. I would literally like just before the show go and get wings just to open them up on the podcast to you guys, just to piss you off. But I don't feel like doing that because I don't.
Chances? Okay.
Also, I would not want to do 50.
I
I would not want to have wings on a show when I need to use my hands. That's a really bad idea.
Right.
yeah, you'd have to. Yeah.
I probably would have the wings before you, anyways. B.
Oh no, it's not to torture you; it's to torture Chris. We
got
already
four-
established this.
I got 4
Yeah,
bags
torture
of
me.
chicken wings.
You usually get the chicken wings more than I do, so it's strictly just to make Chris like kill himself.
It's the
In
whole
Minecraft.
thing of like. Usually I don't care, but it's like it's our bar, and it's our place that we all go to chill. So right now, if I'm able to support them, I will.
That I can
This
thumbs
whole
up.
thing is
Support
about-
local businesses. Fuck the big chains.
That's so. That's the whole thing. It's like I was talking about this with somebody, and it's supporting local restaurants and bakeries and anything foodist related. It's easy and it's plausible to do, but I'm sorry, supporting local retailers for like consumer goods, electronics, and even like fashion and clothing. I'm sorry, it's very difficult because a lot of these places charge a lot more,
Yeah,
and there's no warranty
it's
or guarantee.
It's
So that's what I'm having trouble with. I will support the local pubs, restaurants, and bars as much as I can, and I would prefer to because they make better stuff.
yeah.
They
They
do.
actually try sometimes, you know.
Yeah,
But when
they're
it
good with
comes
their
to
food.
It's pretty rare to have chains that are like really good. Like Five Guys is the one that stands out for me here in Canada. It's like it's a chain, but they do pretty good burgers.
Five
but
Guys.
when
is
it
good.
comes to retail, consumer electronics, and products, I'm sorry.
You got to go to the big box
local-
or Amazon. You don't really have a choice if you're
Yeah, you
not
don't,
loaded. You
because-
don't have a choice really.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I had this discussion where Apple, for example, has a very few limited amount of authorized retailers. So, for example, if you
Fuck
bought
Apple.
something from, I'm just using it. I agree. Fuck Apple. But for example, if you bought an iPad from Chris and Alex's corner shop, and they're not an authorized Apple retailer, and you say, "Hey, my iPad's not working," was like, yeah, no, you shouldn't have bought it from them. We don't support.
That's the
them.
other thing too. You can't go somewhere to repair it. You have to take it to them, which is just dumb as shit.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
understand the support local. You should support local, but unfortunately, there's some times like I will avoid going to Walmart as much as possible because I think Walmart is a fuck you.
I mean, it's
completely.
any corporation is a fuck you. Like what retail chain isn't?
The only one I would
Yeah.
say is Costco. That's the only one.
Yeah, but that's because of pricing. That's literally it. I guarantee you, Costco is
And-
just as
and
scummy in the office than Walmart
I'll
is.
tell you guys a story after the show, but like, it's service-wise,
checked out the box
Costco
again.
is like that's fine. But Costco did go beyond what the norm was, and even sometimes I'll say even Best Buy has helped me out well above the norm.
Either
as
way, I'm not getting
it's
too much deeper
hard.
into it, but
I
they're
know,
all
it's-
shitty.
it's-
In the office, they're all shitty. It's just some just look on the surface shittier than others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of shitty, more delays. Hogwarts Legacy is now being pushed to 2022. We mentioned it not too long ago. I think it was our previous show where we were talking about things we were looking forward to, where I'm already worried about the
Yeah.
game to begin with. The fact that it's getting pushed back. It's both ways. I mean, like I said with Cyberpunk, I was okay with it because I trust the CD Projekt Red. I'm different with Hogwarts now, whereas like when it gets pushed, I'm like, that's not a good sign. To me, now I go, that's not good.
Yeah. I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
It could also
It's,
just be COVID. I don't know. When
That's
was
what
the
I hope.
original release date? If it
That's
like if
what
it
I'm
was
thinking.
December
it is.
2021, it's probably not that big of a deal. If it was supposed to
So-
be January 2021, then it's a big deal.
My theory is that it is it's that gaming companies aren't deemed essential, and the
You can still work from home.
situation
They're all
I
working
get
from
that.
home. It's just
I
a lot
get that,
harder.
but it's that's the thing. I think gaming industry is not deemed essential, so this is why it's been delayed because the quality assurance team probably is not as available as they were previously. So what the thing is though, ever since Super Smash Brothers Brawl came out, and it was delayed like I think 3 times, and it came out, and I was like, hey, this game is fucking awesome. It was my favorite Smash Brothers. So when I hear a game is delayed, I'm actually okay with that because it means they're working on it. They're working on making it better.
Normally, I would say that, but I think everything has context. You can trust Nintendo 99% of the time. The other example is Outriders is also being delayed as well. And they're coming up with a demo, I think February 25th. And I was listening to a podcast called The Sacred Symbols with Colin Moriarty and Chris Raygun. And Colin made the apropos point that it's like,
that's a good one.
Look, Outriders is published by Square. What was the last open world game that Square came out with? Wasn't a good one. It was Avengers. Wasn't that great. So you're not. I don't know if you're postponing the game and putting it a demo, which wasn't supposed to happen because this game was supposed to be out, I think, in March. So you aren't just randomly putting out you aren't announcing a demo and pushing your game back. The demo's there for a reason. I think, like with Outriders, I think with them, it's not because they want you to see how cool this game is. I think Square's convinced that this game is not going to sell because the pre-orders are probably not doing well because the Avengers stink is on the company right now. So they need to put that thing out just to get any buzz for it. And that's the thing. That's why when a delay happens, I never think that's a good sign with certain companies. With Hogwarts Legacy, and I said this before when I was talking about it in our going forward to 2021 show, this thing has been in developmental hell for so long that any delays to me is just another sign that something's not ready again. And normally, if it was a series that we trusted, like if Persona was like, hey, we're going to take 6 months extra just to polish it up, I'm like, cool. You guys have not fucked up for 3 straight games over like 10 years. I'm like, I'm good. Take your time. With this game, it's like, dude, this game has been like supposedly canceled twice and you're delaying it again. This is like Duke Nukem Forever territory now. That's where my worry comes in. I think anytime you take time off or you push the release date back to polish it, I think that's a good thing. But that doesn't mean I'm giving you the same level of trust that I would with some other companies. And I think in this case, because it's been a largely unknown, we still haven't even seen footage for this game yet, really, apart from like that leaked footage that came out a few years back. I don't know if this is something that a delay makes me think it's going to be better. This is almost something like, it's like, dude, this thing is broken as fuck and we need to try to salvage it. That's where my brain is at with Hogwarts, personally. And I hope I'm wrong, because I said this last week too. I want this game to be amazing. I would fucking love to have a really awesome like Dragon Age level like open world Harry Potter game. That would be fucking sweet.
So
it would be.
We've never really discussed this ever. Are you a Harry Potter fan?
I mean, like I'm not a diehard, but I'm still the guy that's like, man, like that universe is great for these kind of games. Like that would be a fantastic world to have a game where you can create your own Hogwarts student and go ham on that. That sounds fucking amazing.
With some fantastic beasts in the making.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's the kind of game that it works for gaming. It works exactly for this time. Like, this isn't something that would have worked in the 90s or even early 2000s. This works now when we have what we have with all these SSDs that we have with the consoles. Now, this is a perfect time for a game like this to come into the ether. It's just, this game was in production for so long. Like, this isn't something that just got announced like last year that was just starting to be produced. This is something that's been supposed to have existed forever. So any more delays just makes me think, fuck, like this game was already probably a mess before. Like, what do you think it might be now? That's just, I'm trying to be optimistic, but it's like, man, the last game that was like this was Duke Nukem Forever, like I said. And what did Duke Nukem Forever turn out to be? Probably one of the biggest heaping piles of shit we've seen in a long time.
Since like Shaq Fu. It's like next in line.
I'm just glad no Madden's game has ever been that steaming a pile of shit.
Well, it's
ever.
it's hard for a Madden game to be that shit when they just copy and paste the same mediocre game. So it's really hard to go below that bar.
Yeah.
Adam, it can't be a piece of shit if the quality is always bad. You don't understand.
Well, if it's just subpar, it's copy and pasted to be subpar. So you can't get much worse than subpar if you don't actually try to do anything.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt that
I want to. Believe me, I want
that
to.
There's two reasons I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt that A, it's Corona, that everything has been pushed back.
Oh, I'm fully willing to accept that that's probably why. It's just
because
this would have been fine if it was a game that wasn't already like canceled twice and has probably been a messy like entire run of this game's like life cycle.
So, for example, today they're talking about the No Time to Die release date being delayed again. At this point, remove every fucking release date imaginable. Any fucking blockbuster, any movie that's coming out, take away the release date. Don't even give it to us anymore. Don't even tell us, oh, it's gonna come out this day, or it's gonna come out, never mind, it's gonna come out this day. Don't. Just take it away. Just be like, we'll let you know when we know.
Well, yeah, but
Just
that's not really the same
release
thing,
date.
because as far as we know, the movie's done. It's just they
Yeah, I
want it
know.
in theaters.
I get that.
Whereas
I
this,
get that part.
yeah, but you're making a pretty weird comparison for a movie that's done to a game that's still clearly in production.
No, so what I'm saying is with these games right now, just if it's Corona related, take off the release date. Be like, due to unforeseen circumstances, this game is on indefinite hold.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I don't know.
People revolt.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you can't. If once you've announced a date, like, you just have to put another timestamp. That's all you can do. That's what Cyberpunk had to do. And I'm not every fucking dumb shit like gamer that's like, okay, well, it's this day now or else. It's like, no, it's like they're giving a placement. Like, it's just it's what's the word I'm looking for? A placeholder. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like 2022, they assume is going to be a year free of COVID. So it's a pretty easy thing to be like, hey, it's going to release sometime next year. That makes sense because that's when things should, in theory, be back to normal. So it's a pretty decent placeholder. It's also a 12-month long placeholder. You have a pretty good idea if you're going to make that or not pretty quickly. But they got a whole nother 12 months of 2021 to figure out where they're going to be at going into next year. So I don't mind the placeholder. The abolition of a date entirely would basically be an admission that the game is nowhere near ready, which is an even worse sign. If they straight up said, we're not going to date this as a video game because there's no requirement to be in a public place to play this thing, you can just release it digitally and no one cares. If you straight up remove the date for this game, that tells me this game is fucked. That's what I would take from that.
I don't know. I think right now...
I think you're just taking it from the perspective like you don't want to be disappointed by another delay. Which to me, I understand, but you can't do that from a gamer perspective because it's not an excuse when there's no reason, like there's no theater for gaming.
I get that. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan. Like I will watch the movies
license has
and
nothing to do with
everything.
it.
But all I'm saying is I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that A, they're trying to fix some things, and B, it's because of Corona.
I'm not arguing
I'm
that.
trying
I'm
to
just
get
you
this. I get
you
this.
specifically say that you said, oh, just remove the dates. And I'm like, that's not a good idea. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's all I'm saying is that okay. Well, they're saying release in 2022, and that's a big statement.
That's a 24-month
12
time window. That's a pretty good time window
Yeah.
for a game that was supposed to be out this year. I think they've given themselves time.
Okay, that's just my feelings and point of view on this subject, on this topic at all. Is
Okay.
that if they're doing it, is maybe it's to improve the quality of it.
I never said that wasn't what it was.
Okay.
I just said I'm worried because I know this game has been a mess for so long that delaying it also probably means it's still a mess. I'm not worried. I'm not thinking that they're not going to improve it in the time that it takes them to do it. I'm just saying I don't trust this game like I would trust, say, Cyberpunk, which I was wrong to do in the first place, but that's entirely besides the point. But it's like, I don't trust this game, and I don't even know what the company is it's made, like Portkey Games. I don't even know who the fuck these guys are. I don't have any trust for them. If somebody, like, BioWare obviously did this, and it fucked me, and obviously CD Projekt Red did this, and it fucked a lot of people. But still, they earn that
Did you
trust.
buy them breakfast?
No, but I definitely would have given them a reach around if they gave me a fucking functional game. But no, like, this is an unknown. Like, this is a game that we still don't know anything about, so a delay, even if it's just because COVID's making it difficult, still makes me like put the flags up, being like, dude, this is a game that, like I said, was canceled twice, was supposedly like non-existent for a long period of time, and just suddenly reappeared again, and it's getting delayed again. Like there's a history there that just tells me that it's never a good sign. Doesn't matter if it, like, unless the game turns out to be a 10 out of 10, I'll eat my fucking words, but there's just way too much like evidence out there to support that this is a game that's just going through developmental hell and is not looking good.
As usual, I see both of your points, and I think you're both partially right.
All right, you fucking Canadian.
Madden.
But it's true, though.
Why are you responding to Canadian with an American fucking sport, you idiot?
Fuck. No, never mind, Adam. You're 100% right. Whatever Vishal said is just...
Well, now we can move on to the next topic now that I've won the conversation as I normally do. So, moving on.
Did you?
Yes. So, Indiana Jones is getting a game, apparently, according to Bethesda, who is making it with Machine Games, who I can't remember what they've done. Oh, they did the Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
That's interesting. I'm not sure, because here's the thing, like, if you're thinking Wolfenstein, okay, well, that's first-person shooter. Indie doesn't work as a first-person shooter, so that means Machine's going to have to go out of their comfort zone. So...
Yeah, how do you make a first-person whipper?
Yeah. I'm gonna be the pessimist right off the bat here. And it's mostly just because I don't have good history with Bethesda or Machine Games right now. I don't know if these are the guys to handle this license. This is something that I'm like, man, like, give this to the Uncharted guys, and that would be fucking cool.
That's
or give this to Sucker Punch, or give this to Santa Monica, or like give it to one of these studios that clearly is show, or even the Horizon guys, which I'm blanking on right now.
I didn't realize this is a studio that makes first-person shooters. And frankly, I don't think this will work for an Indiana Jones game.
No, so they're clearly going to have to do something they normally don't.
And yeah, so if they are going to make, like, because what's the options? A whip and a revolver.
Well, I mean, like, I guarantee you that this game is going to be one of two things. It's either going to be Uncharted or it's going to be Assassin's Creed. It's either going to be action adventure with levels, or it's going to be open world action adventure. That's what it's going to be. There's no other way around it. It's just a matter of what does that mean. I gave Uncharted as the example. Like Tomb Raider, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
If you're really going to argue with that Uncharted and Tomb Raider are radically different games.
Uncharted is more of a linear game, where Tomb Raider is definitely the more of the
Tomb Raider. Okay, well, Tomb Raider then would be more like Assassin's Creed, just with levels.
Yeah, but Tomb Raider is better than Assassin's Creed.
Oh my god, I fucking can't argue with you when you pull this shit.
It's
literally okay.
You haven't played anything since Assassin's Creed 2.
I'm still making this two simple things. It's either Uncharted, which is an action adventure game that has levels to it, or it's Assassin's Creed, where it's action adventure with one open world. That's all you can do with this. I don't know how much more you do, because you're not going to make a turn-based RPG. You're not going to make some random ass like unless they're going to make like a fucking puzzle game where you just got to like unless they make like a Myst kind of game, which would be a real fucking weird thing to do.
You know what it'll be? It'll be a Marvel's Capcom game. Indiana Jones.
So you would hate it. But no, like it's going to be one of those two things, and the problem is
horrible.
The problem is that if it's going to be one of the two things that I just mentioned, Machine Games has no experience doing it, and not to mention Bethesda has a really bad track record right now, apart from Doom. So, hearing that Bethesda and Machine, which don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with Machine. Wolfenstein was good up until the newest one, Youngblood, which was not even really a bad game, just had really, really stupid ideas in it. So
yeah, they tried something and it didn't work.
They tried to make an RPG in a Wolfenstein game, and then that doesn't work. And then they also try to have like two of the cringiest characters I've ever fucking seen, and it's not because they're females, it's because they say the same 5 fucking lines over and over again. So no, it's just both sides right now, both the publisher and the developer, do not have good track records right now, and that is the last thing you want when a license that has not had a game in fucking like, I'm gonna look up right now what the last Indiana Jones game was. Because I guarantee you,
it's probably like the N64 one.
It's been like Super Nintendo like level like time.
I don't
There
even think
was
it's Super Nintendo. I think it's like.
No, there was one on N64.
Wasn't there one on
and it was
PS2?
horrible.
Let's see.
Oh,
Not counting the
one.
Lego games.
Yeah, don't count. Yeah. I mean, maybe they just make that.
It looks like there was, I mean, not counting like mobile as well or Facebook, it looks like there was one called Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings on Wii and DS and PS2. That looks like that was
probably the one
that was
Vish was talking about.
2009. So 12 years since really like not counting Lego that this game has seen the light of day.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, probably most like 99.9% of all gamers didn't even know that there were PS2 games for Indiana Jones.
Yeah. No, I didn't. No, I think of like the old PC games, and I only know there's an N64
because it was LucasArts, right?
game.
Which, by the way, LucasArts
yeah,
seems to be back because they're working on it.
I mean,
we'll get to that next too because
Disney.
there's another game they're doing with. But yeah,
oh yeah.
Seems
Basically,
like LucasArts
Disney
is back in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things that when I heard it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's an Indiana Jones game. Oh, and it's Bethesda. I'm like, ooh, okay, that makes me a little bit worried. And then it's like, it's the Wolfenstein guys. I'm like, oh, that's even stranger. Why?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
not
don't
like they're
get me
bad
wrong.
developers. They can make amazing first-person shooters.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. They
100%,
might make something pretty damn cool, but it's just on paper. I look at that and go, well, I don't know.
Honestly,
about that.
the type of game Indiana Jones needs to be, just because they're so story-driven and there's not much action you can do besides whips. Like the game I'm playing, A Plague Tale. Like, it's that kind of developer that makes a third-person story puzzle adventure.
What?
Probably put more action in there.
That. Give that to
that's what you need.
Give that to Donut or somebody.
Yeah. Oh, that would be good. That would be good.
But like here's a weird thing, because you know what, I might as well play into it, because obviously we heard with LucasArts they're working with Ubisoft because EA is going to lose the license in because I think they have 2 more years left. They have this year and next year, and then the license is done. It sounds like they're not going to take the license back either. So Ubisoft is apparently working on an open world Star Wars game. My brain just went, wait, it probably would have just made more sense if you gave Bethesda the open world Star Wars and gave Ubisoft the Indiana Jones game, because it seems like Ubisoft has a good track record with that style, and Bethesda would have a better off thing with something that requires guns.
Yeah, make like the Mandalorian open world game, or not open world, but like shooter with Bethesda, and then Indiana Jones open world with Ubisoft. 100%.
It's just Fallout Star Wars. Just
100%.
like, okay, we nuked this planet now. But
that makes a lot of sense.
Whatever you're doing, turn that shit down. What the fuck? What
Sorry about that.
Why are you?
It was a birthday.
Yeah,
it was a birthday wish. I'm sorry.
You couldn't mute your mic.
It was an accident.
Isn't
My phone's on silent.
Isn't this guy supposed to be the marketing professional?
I am.
He's supposed to be the most professional of all 3 of us.
I am.
But it's after
Vishal plus
hours.
birthday plus alcohol equals not Mike.
Never mind. I'm not
Chris. If I'm gonna blame it on the alcohol, you have to as well.
He's not doing anything.
What I do? Yeah, I didn't fuck up.
So moving back to the topic at hand. So it's cool that Indiana Jones could be getting a game finally, and for like 12 years, really. Awesome.
Okay, so my thing is essentially that Indiana Jones has technically had 4 games, just not as Indiana Jones, as Nathan Drake. And I'm expecting the game to be very similar to be the Uncharted series or the Tomb Raider series. So when I hear Indiana Jones is getting a game, unfortunately, that's what I think of. Because, for example, when did Crystal Skull come out? 2008 or 2007?
Something like that. But yeah.
8.
Yeah, that was 1 year before Uncharted came out. And frankly, in my personal opinion, I think Nathan Drake is a superior character to Indiana Jones, in my opinion. And
okay,
I am saying that as character, as unbiased, and not going through nostalgia. So if they were to make an Indiana Jones game, I think it is going to be very similar to an Uncharted game.
Well, that's not a problem. That's actually a good idea.
That would be a good idea.
I'm
But
just saying
it's machine games who
Can
only makes
I ask
Wolfenstein.
the question for curiosity? Are you just assuming it's
Go
going to be a ripoff?
I'm not saying it's going to be a ripoff. I'm just going to say it's going to be very similar, and there's going to be a lot of comparisons to it.
Well,
that
here's
it's
the
not
thing.
gonna
The sense that I
feel like
get
the
from you
original
is that
content.
you're having a negative connotation to it. But my question would be, what would be the problem with them making an Indiana Jones game that's like Uncharted? Because if we get that, that just means we have another series like Uncharted that's also good. So we get more Uncharted kind of games at that level of quality. That seems like a good thing.
Yes, and I think it is a great thing, to be entirely honest.
It's just you make it sound like, oh, they're just doing like Uncharted does it better. It's like that's the sense I'm getting.
It's the whole copy and paste situation, Adam. That's
It's not
what
copy.
I'm
Well, technically, it's
concerned
not
about.
copy and paste if it's Indiana Jones, because Indiana Jones is before Uncharted. Uncharted clearly
Yes,
took from
the
India.
I understand that.
So then, what's
And
the comparison? Now I'm actually confused.
what my comparison and concern is that this new generation, like with us, we grew up with Indiana Jones. Like with us, we grew up in Harrison Ford in the limelight.
Yeah.
In what Harrison Ford was awesome for with Star Wars and with Indiana Jones. So what I'm thinking is that if a game comes out with Indiana Jones, that the new generation is going to look at it as like, hey, what's so great about this game? It's just like Uncharted.
Well, if the game is as good as Uncharted, it will be taken very positively.
So, in my opinion, what I think, in my personal opinion, and this is just a grain of salt, what I think could be done with the new Indiana Jones games, make them a little darker, make them M-rated. Not you don't have
But then
to
it
include
wouldn't.
fuck.
Okay,
fuck,
well,
fuck,
to be
fuck,
honest,
fuck,
like apart from like melting Nazis, like if they went like super dark, that would kind of take away from what Indiana Jones is, wouldn't it?
potentially,
Yeah.
but that's
It's
what
supposed
I
to be like campy, fun adventure.
By the way,
That's
Disney
what I-
doesn't
the
Disney
30s.
still
That's
technically own the
a-
license to it? They would not let that happen.
that
Yeah, no.
agreed. My only thing is I think that with the Indiana Jones games, they'll be very similar to the Uncharted games.
That's
the
not a
only
problem,
thing
though. You make it
am
sound like
looking
that's
at.
an issue.
Yeah, I feel like that's
it
what
will
they
have
need
its
to
it
do.
won't have its own unique identity that Indiana
What are you
Jones
talking
has had
about?
as a franchise.
Indiana Jones takes
Like,
place in the
What are you
like
talking
the
about?
30s and 40s.
Uncharted has its own identity, and it's basically it ripped off Tomb Raider when it first came out, but it has its own identity
It
now
was a
because it
rip
had
off
its
Indiana
longevity.
Jones and Tomb Raider.
Yeah, and it
Without
now has
the
its own
character.
identity. If you make something good enough, like if the game sucks, yes, if the game is
Yeah.
a 6 out of 10, yes, we will fucking call it a really bad Uncharted ripoff. But if it ends up being 9 or 10 out of 10 level game, we're just going to say, holy shit, now Uncharted's got competition, Tomb Raider's got competition, let's get more of that shit. And if they do that for 3 straight games, we go, holy fuck, we have another franchise. Damn, this is awesome. Like, I'm just trying to sit here and be like, man, like, I'm more just worried that I don't think the right company's in charge of it. You just seem to be like, well, it's just going to be a clone of Uncharted. I'm like, that's not bad. Uncharted is a legendary series.
Yeah, like the new Tomb Raiders are
That's-
basically
And if
Uncharted.
your only other complaint is, well, new fans are going to look at it like it's an Uncharted ripoff, I'm like, well, fuck them. They'll still enjoy the game if it's a 10 out of 10 level game.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say that like what my concerns is about the franchise and about the game itself. That I just think that it just needs to have its own identity
But it
and
will.
not be
It's Indiana Jones.
looked at and not be looked at as a blatant ripoff. Granted, the franchise came earlier.
I mean, it
just
clearly
looking at
can't
that-
be an Uncharted ripoff. He's got a whip. You already
Fair
win.
enough.
You already
So
win.
true.
It's done.
Mhm.
So unless Uncharted has like a wife character that's constantly bickering at him the entire game and an old grizzled old dude that's just fucking like always got a cigar in his mouth, then maybe, oh yeah, there's an evil Russian at the, actually no, it's Indiana Jones. There's a distinct possibility there could be an evil Russian at the end.
You are literally describing
Oh, for sure
Uncharted
there's an
2
evil
right now.
I know. So if they do exactly that, then yeah, we can be like, all right, guys, that might be Madden level copy and pasting.
Destiny.
But as far as I know, Uncharted doesn't have Nazis. So if
Yeah,
Indy goes
that's
Nazis,
a
which
really
by the way
big
makes
selling
sense
point
because
there.
Machine Games does Wolfenstein, they've got Nazis already in their system.
Wow, now I understand why they got the fucking contract.
I swear to God, Vish, take
I'm
your
starting
phone and
to
throw it in the
also-
fucking toilet. God damn it, dude.
Sorry.
I just thought of something.
In all fairness, I am getting a lot of messages today.
Then
so
wait, well, the
please,
show will be
just-
done in like 10 minutes.
Ooh,
Fucking
look at
chill,
me,
bro.
I'm getting so many messages. Oh.
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm
we
usually
had
one
one
of the
person in the
first
chat
three
being like,
people
why
to
would the wife
message
be
you on your
bickering it? That's
birthday.
unlike wives. I'm like, yes, no, there's no cliche in
And
any
Adam,
sort of
I'm
Hollywood
usually one of the
feature.
first people to say an inappropriate message on your birthday.
Okay, we went into like 3 different conversations at the same time. Okay, let's get back on
No,
track
just do
here.
it.
100%.
So moving on from Indiana Jones going to Star Wars, I wanted to be happy that EA is potentially going to lose the license in 2 years, but as soon as I saw Ubisoft getting the reins, I went, oh, so we basically just went from one shit company to the next shit company.
And the problem is that fucking I know you didn't enjoy it, you couldn't get into it, but Fallen Order was arguably my favorite thing of the Star Wars franchise besides Rogue One.
Well, EA still is allowed to make games. I saw an article that says that EA is still going to be making Star Wars games. It's just they don't hold the license exclusively anymore. So anybody basically at this point, so as Adam mentioned, LucasArts, which was the old Indiana Jones and Star Wars game developer, is back because Disney has brought it back. It's like LucasArts Games or something they're called now. And as soon as they announced that, they're like, all right, cool. We're going to go make a bunch of games and it's going to be under our label now, but we'll hire other people to make the games. So EA used to have exclusive rights. Now EA still going to make games. They just don't have it exclusive. So
well, no, they'll have the
released
it. Like they will only be they'll be the only ones releasing those games for the next 2 years. So there's a you can bet at this point that whatever game they're working with on Ubisoft will not come out till at least 2023 because the contract means EA is the only one that can publish Star Wars licensed games in this time. So in 2 years' time, EA could still be making games for all we know. They could still be in the process of they can delay one to 2023. They can still do it. It's just no one can release a Star Wars game that's not published by them until 2023.
Yeah.
So it just
from
means
what I understood,
like right now there's like we could be seeing Ubisoft making Star Wars games, Square if they wanted to could be making a Star Wars game. They could all be starting to produce one. They just can't release it for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, what I understood is like Jedi Fallen Order, for example, because it was so successful, will still be under EA, and we'll probably see a trilogy or something of them going into 2025.
Yeah, they could still be making games. It's just EA isn't the only one that gets to make them now.
Yes, exactly. And the more I think of this, the more I think that Disney, LucasArts, decided like, all right, now anybody can make it. Let's play it safe and go with the big developers. All right, who are the 2 biggest developers that are well known? All right, we got Bethesda, we got Ubisoft. Perfect. Let's go to each of them and make a game. I'm pretty sure that's fucking how that went.
Oh, I'm sure.
I can't think of any other reason.
Disney doesn't understand.
Yeah,
Disney doesn't understand what the word "small" means anymore. So
no, they're like, all right, who's big? All right, these 2. All right, perfect.
I mean, basically, who's next? They go to Sony or Microsoft directly,
or Capcom.
Yeah.
No. Like if we're talking like big, no, Capcom's not even on the list yet. Capcom's like 6th or 7th down the list. Yeah. You go immediately to Microsoft and then you go to Sony or Microsoft. Actually, you probably go to Sony first because they're making better first-party games right now. And then you go to Microsoft. You probably go to Bethesda before you go to Capcom. So
yeah, Bethesda would probably be before Capcom. And then you go like Nintendo third and make this weird Star Wars kids game.
I mean, they'll make Star Wars Rabbids.
Oh, I actually want that now.
Every time I look on Reddit and I see Mario Rabbids on sale, and it's like the only Nintendo Switch game that's ever on a decent sale price. Fucking Christ.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah,
Ubisoft puts that on sale like crazy.
So we've had a really tumultuous relationship with EA when it comes to Star Wars. We've had only, I think, 5 games, because we had Fallen Order, we had 2 Battlefronts, we had Squadrons, and we had a mobile game, Galaxy of Heroes, which fuck mobile because it's just a cash cow. I think there was at least 3 canceled games, because I know there was 1313. I know Respawn, I think, was supposed to be working on one, and I think there was supposed to be one more. I'm drawing a blank because I'm remembering at least 2 for sure, and I want to say there was a 3rd. So realistically, like, this whole contract with Star Wars and EA has been not great, and it's probably why they definitely won't be renewing it and doing what they're doing now with LucasArts games. Because the track record, I mean, obviously, even though I don't like Fallen Order, it was clearly a commercial success, so awesome. Squadron seems to be okay. It seems to have done fine. But I mean, realistically, they had a really, really shit start, and that stuff does not get forgotten, especially with what happened with Battlefront 2, with that shitstorm. So I think all of us are pretty happy to see Electronic Arts not getting their grubby hands on sole possession of anything anymore. However, being said, like I said at the top of this, Ubisoft is not much better. It just means that you might get like something different, and who knows, it still might end up being really good, but it's still being put in the hands of a corporation that really I want to avoid spending money on at all costs.
Yeah, it's not the best direction they could have gone. I feel like whoever it is that's
I
on
may be
their
biased because I'm a
team
PlayStation
looking
guy,
for
but
these
I would
people.
have loved a Sony first-party studio to get their hands on something. I think we all
True,
wish, like, could
true.
you imagine
You know-
Fallen Order being done by literally the guys who do Uncharted? Like, how much even better that could be?
That's the thing, like,
Or even just
if
giving them
you
like a
gave-
Mandalorian kind of game.
Yeah, first of all, if you give me like Sucker Punch and Mandalorian, I feel like Sucker Punch could make like a really fucking cool Mandalorian game. Like it would be like taking Ghost of Tsushima and like that style of game, but instead putting
No.
something like the Mandalorian in there.
If you give the Ghost of Tsushima guys fucking Jedi Academy.
Oh my god, I'm kind of hard
Give them
thinking of that.
Jedi
That's
Academy
insane.
3. I think it's 3 would be the next
Yeah.
one if they continued it.
Yeah. Oh, see, they could do so much good stuff.
Because like, let's even go
Yeah.
crazy hypothetical. Like, okay, you get I don't know, you get like fucking get Atlas together and make some like fucking weeby like anime Star Wars fucking JRPG. Fuck yeah, let's do it. Who's really good for like who would you give pod racing?
Pod racing?
Honestly,
probably whoever
I
does
would give
Forza.
it to Nintendo.
Yeah, that's actually that's a good point. Nintendo
Yeah.
probably be pretty good for
Nintendo
that.
with Mario Kart?
Yeah.
I would trust Nintendo, and
Actually,
I would trust
Nintendo would make a pod
Microsoft,
racing game.
actually,
They would just
because
put
of Forza.
they would just put pod racers in Mario Kart. They probably wouldn't want
It
to
would
make
just
a
be
whole
Pod
game.
Kart. No. Maybe the Forza guys. I feel like the Forza guys, they could maybe do it.
No. What is that one racing series, the Sony one, where they use essentially
Mod
space-
Nation?
No.
Oh,
I'm
Wipeout.
drawing a- Yes. Oh, that would be
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Oh, but Nintendo did have F-Zero, and that would also kind of... Fuck. Well, there's actually a lot of good
No,
racers out there. Holy
Wipeout,
shit.
I think, would be perfect.
You would have
Yeah,
to,
Wipeout
the
is
problem is you
close.
want to go to the arcade racers, but they almost don't exist anymore. Because it's basically like
Yeah, I know.
like racing games for the most part are either like really indie or it's Gran Turismo, Forza like level shit.
Yeah.
There's not like, I mean, Need for Speed is probably your best bet, but I don't want to give EA any more shit, so no.
Yeah, no, I don't want to give them... No.
Um,
No. Because they'll make it a... Yeah, no, fuck it. I don't even want to
No,
go there.
I mean,
because
the
we'll
thing
know by the
with,
time Dragon Age
pod
and Mass Effect come
racers-
back out if they deserve another Knights of the Old Republic, but otherwise.
Pod Racers is not
Yeah, like,
really
that's-
a battle type racer. It's just a plain simple racer.
Well, that's why I meant
Would
Need for
be-
Speed,
should be
right?
aggressive.
Like the closest thing we have to like arcadey, like AAA is Need for Speed.
I don't think Need for Speed I think it needs to be something more elaborate, like
Well, no, but I was making the
Nintendo
hypothetical
or
if
the
it was if
guys
it
who
had to be a
make,
AAA company.
Wipeout.
If it had to be AAA, the only company that would fall under that range for arcadey racing would be EA, because every other company that's big right now, it's all realistic. It's all Forza, Gran Turismo stuff. That's
Fuck,
why I said
do you
like
have to make
unfortunately
me
the
go
reality
to
is it would be
EA?
EA if you had to give it to a AAA. Basically, if you're going to make a pod racing game, it has to go to like an indie developer at that point.
Honestly, that'd probably be the best way to do it. Find a good indie studio and just give it to them.
And then you got to go to whoever made I guess Valve, or like actually no, whoever made Super Hot, give them a VR lightsaber game.
Valve would be good. Whoever, actually, EA apparently did Squadrons VR really well, so that brings it back to EA.
Ooh,
Fuck.
give Give the guys who do like Warhawk a like Rogue Squadron game.
Yeah. Ooh. See, there's a lot of good Star
Warhawk
Wars
or
games that
Ace
you can make.
Combat.
That would work.
I'm trying to think. What else could you license out for that?
Mm.
Because I'm racking my brain around like all these things. Like I'm just thinking like every story that's ever been done. I mean, I guess you could do like fun like little like platformers or like there's a lot of indie potential for Star Wars as well. That's the one thing. I guess that's the one thing I really hope with this Lucas Arts games kind of thing is that they don't just focus on big names. But like I said, I don't think Disney understands what the word little means. So
No, they don't.
I'm pretty sure they're just looking dead ahead at the top developers.
Kind of looking at the big picture.
Well, they look at little, but it's kids. That's the closest thing they look at when in terms of little. They don't know what little is in business, though.
With a niece who
Imagine
loves
this-
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, I see them.
Yeah,
manipulating
they understand the
riddle.
kid market pretty well. I think we've discovered over like a century.
Yeah, because they have us
Hot
fucking
dog.
booked. Hot dog, hot
they
dog, hot diggity dog.
Yeah, right?
I
Fuck
hate
that hot dog
fucking
song. So imagine this Ubisoft Star Wars game ends up being like a Scott Pilgrim brawler open world game.
That would be
by
so
Ubisoft.
fucking random, and I'd be
love
like,
this
you know
game
what?
in
Fuck
game.
it, I'll take it.
Yeah, like that. I wouldn't be upset. It's
That's-
do
that's-
you want to be the Mandalorian or Luke
Man,
Skywalker?
I'm considering
Fucking
getting that for
chibi
Adam for his
brawler?
birthday, so we can all fucking play together.
That's the one thing too about
Spoiler
Ubisoft.
alert.
I'm so annoyed with Ubisoft that Scott Pilgrim existing again really pisses me off further because I really hate Ubisoft right now, but I love that fucking game.
Did you play the OG game on the PS3?
I own the original game on 360.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun as fuck.
game's fantastic. It's
It's
so good.
it's probably honestly
good.
I would put it as top 5 of those kind of games easily.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy that game.
I
on-
remember,
on
like,
Steam
I
and
love
console.
those
Like,
type of arcadey co-op games because they're just fucking fun.
That is a game you would 100% be losing a shit ton of quarters to in the arcade. 100%.
that's why if you buy
Adam,
it twice, it's worth it.
Adam, when's your birthday again?
26th of February, so basically a month and change.
When does Scott Pilgrim come out?
I think later than that. I want to say. Oh
I think
god.
it's March.
I opened a window. Oh well. Oh god. Oh god. System work for me. Oh crap. Phone. Okay, there we go. Screen's off. Now I can look in case porn comes up. I'm just kidding. I just don't like having the Google window open. Let's see. Scott Pilgrim.
Search histories. Out to get us.
No, I don't want. I want the new one. You stupid thing. I don't care about the 2010 one. Nobody thinks about that anymore. We're happy the new one's out.
No, I don't know. The 2010 one is still great.
But this is better because.
Question: Are they making any changes to the new one, or is it just a re-release but like updated settings?
It's
for
complete
probably
edition, so I'm sure it's
resolution and
like
stuff?
something a little bit extra on top of it.
Oh my fucking god, the Leafs won tonight.
I swear to God, Vish.
I figured you would care if anybody here.
As somebody who is apparently the only professional on this show, the answer is no. Not right now, I
Okay.
don't.
I haven't cared about the Leafs winning since I was
Oh.
like.
So apparently it
15
comes out
years younger.
tomorrow. There's your answer.
18 for me.
It's out tomorrow.
Wait, what?
Huh. Tomorrow?
Yes.
All right.
I'm sorry, what? Is it actually out tomorrow?
Yeah, it's legit out tomorrow. PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Windows, and Stadia.
Well,
AKA
I'll-
PS4,
you know
Xbox
what?
One, Switch, Windows, and what?
I'm buying it on Stadia only.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's just say
Apparently
this,
Cyberpunk isn't that bad on Stadia.
Well, yeah, because it's got a super PC running somewhere in the background.
So
You're just
I'll tell you
streaming
what. Since we already started Borderlands, Adam, on your birthday, I'll get you Scott Pilgrim. We'll start Scott Pilgrim on Adam's birthday.
And then I will just play Another Winter over and over again because that is the fucking best song. Also, they put that soundtrack on vinyl, which is really, if I had money to burn and I collected vinyl, my god, I would own that soundtrack. That is a fucking great
Wait,
soundtrack.
hang on. One, Adam, what day is your? The
Can we
date of
do
your
this
birthday
after
again
the
is-
show? I'm trying to have like a marginally professional, like a one-star show here.
February 23rd.
We're a
you said,
minus
or-
5-star podcast with your fucking shit right now.
I'm pretty sure we are. But
Everyone,
what is the actual
Just
birthday?
leave us 0 stars. That's even better.
I am answering this question after show. I refuse to do that in solidarity to you.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I was going Facebook.
It's also so bad that I think somebody in the chat tried to swear and it just got taken away for some reason.
It definitely got. Yeah.
So clearly, this is a sign. But
So good.
oh no, apparently it's because we're 5 stars.
5 stars.
I'm going to type out. We all know you're lying.
February 26th. That's a Friday.
Done.
So okay.
I'm gonna.
You'll
fucking,
get Scott
I'm gonna
Pilgrim
mute
versus
this.
the
I'm gonna mute
World
this.
on
You
Oh,
can
so
mute
hard.
him. You have the power.
Okay.
God damn.
You want Scott Pilgrims or not?
You know what? In the state of getting you to shut the fuck up, yes. Now let's move back to what we were fucking doing.
All right.
Jesus H goddamn fucking Christ.
Madden
Is it his birthday too?
blessings.
Oh, for.
I hate all of
cord
you.
of my fucking microphone
I-
is getting caught on my arm.
Man, I think the title of this show is going to be like, I hate all of you. That's just the title of the show. Done. Everything's done.
I feel like
Welcome
make
to
sure you haven't
I
used
hate
that
out
one
of you,
before.
I hate all of you podcast where I fucking hate all of you.
So every episode.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Otherwise, that's pretty much all the news I had. So really, it just comes down to like, look, this could be a pretty interesting 12 months. It's just right now we're in that dead period because everybody's trying to figure out what the fuck's happening with the vaccines and shit. So obviously, we pray that every time we have a podcast, there's something to talk about. Thankfully, we got something this time. I know that for a fact that it's going to be pretty dicey for the next little while because when you know that there's no E3, I mean, I'm sure Jeff Keighley's going to try to do another Summer Game Fest. And a lot of games are getting pushed back. I mean, like I said, Outriders got pushed back, Hogwarts Legacy got pushed back. I wonder what even is the current schedule, even just on PS5 alone, because that's really where my wheelhouse comes into. There can't be that much, like, actually set in stone coming soon at this point. Like, there really can't be that much. Hitman's
not
like in
AAA,
terms of
no.
major games, like Hitman's out next week, which apparently has done some pretty cool things with it, which I think is nice. Other than like remasters, I mean, the Yakuza's technically already out, but the upgrade will be out in March for PS5. Destruction All Stars, which I think is going to be free when it comes out in February, so that'll
Yes,
be
it
at
is.
least something.
Yeah, it's going to be on PS Plus.
Returnal is in March, but that's more of like a bullet hell game, so it's not exactly for everybody. Balan Wonderland is in March. Outriders is no longer in April, so that's wrong. Guilty Gear is in April. Deathloop is maybe in May. Back for Blood is in June, and yeah, that's it. So like up until June, there really isn't much. And I suspect that because of the pandemic and because, quite frankly, like just there are more important things right now. I think for a lot of people, they need to start figuring out that this is either go through your backlog or try out stuff you wouldn't have tried before. Because I think it's going to be a really quiet first half of this year.
Name of your sex date.
Yep.
Now I've actually muted him. Fuck him.
Oh.
Fuck him. So, 2021 is going to be a year where it's just like...
Yeah.
It's probably the best case for you anyway, Chris, because it means you'll actually get to, enjoy stuff that you've been sitting on for forever.
Yeah, my backlog is too big. But one good point actually maybe to make through all this is that one type of studio, which is studio is probably not the right word, indie developers were I have to imagine like 90% working from home before because they were usually such small groups of people or individuals making games. It might be the time to actually check out the indie scene.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like they're going to be the ones that are still releasing their games. Probably their delays will be the same delays they've had always, where it's like, hey, I'm one person trying to make a game. It's going to take me 4 more months. So if any indie games get released, maybe check out those because they're probably able to release and it's our version of, support local.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's just kind of that thing where it's like, man, I'm kind of glad that, in a weird way, I'm glad that Cyberpunk kind of just dropped the ball because it gave me the chance to really go back and play some stuff. Like, I don't think I touched Persona 5 Royal for a lot longer, and I'm really glad I did because it was the perfect game to be playing to cap off my year and start off a new one. And now Trails just happens to be in my forward vision. I'm like, fuck it, let's go for it. And I'm enjoying the hell out of that. So it's kind of worked out nicely that this year's kind of been quiet. Obviously, Vish loaned me his copy of Ghost of Tsushima, so I've got that on the burner as well. We still have to console share, so I can take Miles Morales off of you. Not to mention, what was the other game that you were mentioning? Assassin's Creed Valhalla, potentially, if I want to go take a go at that.
Valhalla, yeah.
So, I mean, like, it definitely gives me the chance
to go at stuff. It's your way of playing without paying for it.
And not to mention, I still have a wish list full of games that I haven't gotten a chance to try out either that I'm still waiting on. Like I said, Coffee Talk being a big one. Even it's like we said with indie stuff. There we go right there. I'm trying to think what else was off the top of my head there. I mean, I do want to take a look at Demon Souls and games of that ilk, but I mean, that's still like we'll see if that game's like $20 or even if it's free on PlayStation Plus at some point. Speaking of PlayStation Plus, I got to take a look at Maneater because that was free this month.
Yes. I got to go on and grab that. Holy shit. Thanks for reminding me.
That's still...
okay, is it on the PS
No, it's not PS4. It is PS5 exclusive for free.
Oh, shit. That's why I couldn't find it.
And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people were like, you know what? We'll finish with that because that was actually an interesting story. A lot of people were not too happy about that because, like, but it's on PS4. Here's the thing, guys. Like, you have to remember that there is not a lot of PS5-only games. So... you can't like give like this is the PS5 freebies this month without, basically just saying they're all PS4 games. And technically the version of Maneater that is free is one with ray tracing, which the PS4 version doesn't have. So we are technically getting a different version. It's just I think people need to kind of figure out like unfortunately PS5 guys are just going to happen to get a free game extra before, but that used to be the same thing too with PS3 gamers when PS4 guys were getting their games plus PS3 games. Same goes for just Vita users who were if you owned a PS4 and a Vita, you got all that shit. You got all these free games for the same price that people were paying for one console. So it's just one of those things where it's like, look, it probably sucks that like you might have wanted to play Maneater and you're not getting it free, but that's just like they can't just say, okay, well, here's this crappy indie game no one's ever heard of that's only on PS5 for some reason. They can't really do that. And they're not going to give you Demon Souls for free when the console's been out like a month. They can't do that either. It would just be a really bad business decision.
Yeah, that would be a bad decision. Yeah, they have to give something to their PS5 owners. And
the
choosing
fact that
a
we're
game
getting
like Maneater
and Destruction All-Stars for free is pretty generous on their part, actually.
Yeah.
Even if they were both crappy games, the fact that they're giving us 2 games for a new console on release day for free, that's pretty generous, considering the way the industry is now.
Yeah. Absolutely it is.
So, I mean, it's, and like I said, it's a pretty damn good month. Like, there's something for everybody. There's Maneater, there's Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and there's Greedfall, which apparently I've been told is pretty good too, so...
Yeah, I've been kind of wanting to look at that, and now I don't need to buy it. I can install it and have a look.
Yeah, for sure. So Vish is just going to have to deal with the fact that the 2 games that he can get are one that he already has played through and a game he probably won't play. Oops.
Pretty much, yeah.
But in all honesty, that is like most PlayStation gamers' experience with PlayStation Plus. It's always like, I just bought this! Like, that's basically PlayStation Plus in a nutshell.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
More often than not, a game that you want to play, you buy before it goes on PlayStation Plus. Like, it's pretty rare that a game that you want to play, you wait that long because it takes a while. Generally, PlayStation Plus games are you getting to try games you wouldn't have tried before, or a game you haven't even heard of, but you're like, well, it's free, let's pop it and see what happens. Oh, this is really good. I guarantee you that because Yakuza Kiwami was free for one PlayStation Plus month, that exposed a lot of people to that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would.
Probably, yeah.
Like, even me, I didn't have a PS4, but the last 3 months since I've been a PS5 owner, it was like Shadow of War, Middle-earth, Just Cause 4, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I bought all of those, and I've only played one of them on Steam. I could have waited, and then I wouldn't have had to fucking pay for them. But, like, fuck, that's just how it goes. Like, you buy a game...
So at best, it's reminding you to, hey, try this game, dumbass.
Yeah, I mean, I did install Shadow of War because of PS Plus, and Vishal was playing Shadow of Middle-earth. Or, yeah, whatever it's called.
The game.
Yeah.
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor, there we go. Fuck. There it is.
Yeah, I still like I feel like when I was playing it that I think I was just too in my infancy in that game to really enjoy it and to really get the full effect of it. I feel like it was what Ghost of Tsushima should have been, like, to really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, but again, it's when it's free, especially too. Like, how bad can it hurt you? Unless you get Last of
Yeah.
Us 2 for free, whenever that happens, then it can definitely hurt you. It'll hurt you in different ways.
Yeah,
Yeah, it will.
honest, I was telling my colleagues about that today, and I was just like, dude, like I literally have never played a game that made me so depressed that I was almost ready to YouTube the ending because I didn't want to fucking go through it anymore because it was that painful.
But you're still
Yeah.
playing Brick Breaker, so I
Yeah,
don't
but-
see the excuse that you get here.
Fair
I feel like Brick Breaker's worse.
But yeah, I think honestly, like,
at least with Last of Us 2, you make progress in it. Brick Breaker, you're just going through it, not making any progress, and just hitting your
I mean, maybe in
fucking
the game you
self
make
for it.
progress in Last of Us 2. Mentally, you probably don't. You probably degress playing that game in terms of your sanity.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
by
you do.
story-wise and everything.
Yes. But otherwise, like, the last thing I guess I'll say is, like, for any PS5 owner or somebody who thinks they're going to be getting a PS5 soon, I mean, you can get the free game. Like, even if you don't have a PS5, you can. I think, Vish, even if you have PlayStation
Oh,
Plus,
yeah.
you can still
Actually,
you can still buy
one
the
thing I forgot to
PS5 copy
mention
on
about the
PlayStation Plus.
whole PS5 situation is I, like a few other people, including myself, have determined that, like, you know what, there is literally no reason to buy a PS5 anytime soon, especially now that God of War Ragnarok is going to be released on the PS4 as well.
Yes and no, because yeah, I mean the games will still be there, but we'll still be getting it in 60 frames and a lot better quality than you guys will. But either way, and
I get that.
When it comes to the PlayStation 5 games, I mean, even then, as far as I know, if you have a PlayStation Plus account, you can still go on the web store and buy the PS5 game and just have it ready for whenever you get the console.
Yes.
So you can still do that.
Mhm.
So if Vish,
Yeah.
you want to still play Maneater, just make sure you go on the store and just add it to your library. So when you eventually do get a PS5, it's already sitting there.
When I go on the app itself, it doesn't pop up.
Well,
So I don't
you
know if
should
I
just
need
be able
go
to
on the-
search it, I think, or even just go through. I think like there must be a PlayStation Plus menu you can go to and just take all the games that are reserved. At least I would imagine.
Yeah, you might have to use the actual web version off of like going on
It
and
might even
searching
be
the
that, who
website
knows?
instead of the app.
Okay,
Yeah, I found the app
need to do that.
is
I honestly couldn't tell you because
It's
I
not very
obviously have a
good.
PS5. I just go through the store there. So, but
Okay.
but as a whole, I think anybody who owns a PS5 right now, like, don't expect anything amazing in terms of like PS5 specific for 6 months. You're not going to see anything specific. If you're lucky, Miles Morales is like free somehow before like June, which I don't think will happen.
Not happening. Disney, I don't think Disney will
No.
allow that. And also,
Well, it's not even that they wouldn't allow.
I-
Like, eventually, the game, it could at some point. Like, there's still a possibility. It's just no. I don't even think like any PS5 Central
not
game
at
is going to
least
get put on for a
2
while.
years.
Any
Not
PS5 game that's only for PS5 PlayStation Plus users will be an upgraded PS4 version of a game. That's literally what it's going to be for a considerable amount of time.
Yeah. You got to also look like when the PS4 came out, look at the history of PS Plus then, and then once you see like Knack
That makes me
was
so
available for the
curious.
first time, that's when you're going to get like your first fucking game.
There's got to be like a list of all the games. Oh, sure enough, there it is. Okay, so let's see. What were the
Oh, yeah.
first months? So this was. Oh, this is PS3. This is how far back it goes. Okay, well that doesn't help me because I don't have any knowledge of PS3. Where's the first month of PS4 games? That's what I really want to see.
What was that, like 2013?
Here it is. Yeah, there it is. So this would have been 2013 in October. So the first games you saw on PS4 that were free would have been Hotline Miami.
Indie game.
Then there was Contrast and Resogun the following time, both indie games. Don't Starve.
Resogun is actually a very difficult game.
Yeah, Don't Starve, Outlast, Dead
Indie game.
Nation, Thomas Was Alone, Mercenary Kings. Okay, let's see. Keep scrolling until we find the first like major game. And as I keep scrolling, still going. Still going. We're going into 2015. Still haven't seen anything. Oh wait, sorry, I'm wrong. December 2014. So over a full year, so about a year and 2 months into the PS4's life cycle, was the first AAA game, and that was the Ultimate Edition of Injustice. That's the first like major.
Did that release
game.
on PS3?
PS5.
It probably released on PS3 too, but like this was a
PS4. I'm sorry.
This was definitely the first PS4 free game that was considered not indie, I think. So it took them over a year.
Yeah.
So I think most people need to kind of figure that like you're not going to be seeing PS5 Central games for at least probably a year, and if they are PS5 Central, they're either indie games or they're upgrades. That's really what it's going to be for a while.
Yeah. And there's already AAA games every month. Like, again, Just Cause 4, Shadow of War, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Like, all of these games are big AAA games that were quite expensive.
Yeah, I mean, people are just generally mad because most of the time it's games they've already bought because these games were like a year, 2, 3 years old by the time they've been out in the store. Which is like, guys, it's free. Did you think they were going to give you Spider-Man or God of War?
A lot of games that I'm seeing coming out right now are games I bought either like very in the early stage of the releases, or I already own them. Like with Shadows of the Tomb Raider, with Arkham Knight, with Last of Us. Like these are games I have owned, but I don't realize that hey, you bought these like 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Which makes sense that a game that you're getting for free is not going to be 3 months old. It's Fall Guys, minus
but for every one of those, there are like Farming Simulator and City Skylines where most people go, ugh. Which look,
I actually love City Skylines,
sure,
but probably not a console.
What I honestly think it's just a bunch of it's because we as gamers, we have that problem. We're entitled as fuck, and we think that we deserve the best stuff at all times. And there's this segment of the population that thinks that every month that they pay $10, $15 a month for should be the best games every single month. To which I go, well, even if they did that, they would run out eventually, and then you'd have nothing, and then there'd be no point in getting PlayStation Plus anymore. Eventually, they run out of the big games. So what are you gonna do? It just comes down to they want that one specific game that's been sitting on their wish list for 6 months, and they're mad that it's another month that they didn't get it. Which I will tell you is straight up, if you've been praying for a game to be on PlayStation Plus, you probably don't want to play it that badly, because if you haven't gone out and got it, sorry. I mean, I guess you don't care that much.
Yeah, you're willing to wait.
Or you're just being unreasonable. You're either being unreasonable or you don't actually care about the game that much. Because you either want like a game that there's no goddamn way would be put on for free so early, or you're expecting a game that you probably don't know that exists. It's apparently really amazing. Like I don't know what you're asking for. Every time I get a free month, I go add them to my library, and if one of them happens to be something really cool, I'll check it out. Sometimes you get some diamonds in the rough. I never would have tried Rocket League if it had not been free. There are a lot.
Oh my god, Rocket League was the ultimate free game, I would say.
There are a lot of games that I don't even look at had it not been for being free. Like Fall Guys, I think I probably, actually that's a lie. Fall Guys I would have definitely tried at some point. I definitely wouldn't have tried it. I never would have been playing.
I don't think I would have tried because I don't even know anything about it.
Like I wouldn't have, like I'm going through the list right now. I never would have played Uncharted 4 had it not been free. I would never have tried it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're not an Uncharted guy.
Let's see. Sniper Elite 4, when that came out, it was a fun little getaway. I did that. Sonic Mania was free. Did I miss that month? No, I didn't. I got that.
Now that's a good game.
Overcooked, I definitely would have taken a look at some point, but not nearly as soon. Metal Gear Solid 5, there's the big one right there. Never would have.
You got that off PS Plus.
Yeah,
oh wow!
I never would have
you
tried.
got like
I never
80
would have taken a
hours
look at
of
that game.
playtime.
Exactly. That's a big one. Is there any other ones? Oh yeah, 2064. We both share that one.
Yes, and the thing is
I would have known that thing even
existed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I was buying it, I just saw the game, saw its price, and I was like, Adam really liked this. Like, I'm pretty sure that PS Plus through you is the reason I bought it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It gives you the chance to try games you probably wouldn't have. Like, I still keep scrolling on Mafia 3. I probably would have tried at some point, but it makes it easier when it's free. XCOM 2 was great because I wanted to play it, and that's one of the few cases where a game came out for free and I was like, oh cool, now I finally get to play this game. Well, yeah, like realistically, it's getting the chance to discover things. Like people keep expecting PlayStation Plus, or I guess Xbox Game Pass to be, well, I guess Xbox Game Pass now, or sorry, not Game Pass, games with gold. They expect those to be like, okay, these are going to be the games that like I want to play like right away, but I just don't want to pay money for them. No, like I think these are more meant to be, hey, go and try something go get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, once in a blue moon, something like Shadow of the Tomb Raider comes along that most people have already played, or like everybody knows what it is. But how many people would have just gone out and gotten Greedfall or Maneater right away? Not that many.
No, like I've been waiting on both those games.
So it's
just to try them.
It really just comes down to, like, I think, as we say so many times, like, fucking people just kind of need to kind of relax and stop thinking that everything's supposed to be catered directly to them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
100%.
awesome that we get free stuff. Like, yeah, should we be paying for online services in 2021? Probably not. But
No.
it's not like they're also not charging stupid amounts either. It could be worse. Not to mention, if you were like me and you got a crazy good deal on them for a years like we both did, then you don't have that problem as much.
Yeah. Then you don't feel bad, especially with the free games.
Yeah, considering that we got basically 2, like I got 2 years. I think you got more than that. I think you got like 3 or 4 for like half the price.
I think I bought 2. I bought 2 years.
Yeah,
but that's because I assumed within
price.
2 years that same deal will come up and I'll buy another 2.
So it just makes it even more worthwhile in the end. So
100%.
And again, like even if you find 2 games the entire year, you've probably made most of that money back.
Yeah.
That's really the reality of it. And you'll probably get like 1 or 2 games that are for sure like, holy shit, these were really good. And then you're going to have a bunch of games that you got for free. They're like, they're fine. Like, at least it's money you're not spending. Like, that's the whole thing. It's free. Stop complaining about free shit. God damn.
Yeah, and the people complaining, like, here's the thing. There's only 3 games released, and there's a lot of different types of games. If you take all of the fucking 110 million people playing on PlayStation Plus on PlayStation, like, you can't release 3 games and cover all those people.
Yeah, like,
you're not going to be able to do that.
There seems to be these people that are expecting like Call of Duty and fucking Assassin's Creed in the same month. And then when Farming Simulator and City Skylines was 1 month. And a lot of people laugh at that because it's for a lot of people, it's not a great month. Do you know that there was a few people that went, holy fuck, that is an amazing group of games for me? It's just that month wasn't for you. Like, that's really what it was.
I thought the best month of PlayStation Plus free games was the month that Transformers, the one that was Toon Shaded came out.
Devastation.
And the Resident Evil remake. I was like, hey, these are actually prime titles.
And that's the thing. That's what it is for you. For me, it's still the month that we got Rocket League. Like, so it's
Rocket League, I would say, was probably the best title they gave for free, period.
But I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it just comes down, like, it's just personal preference. So when everybody's like, whoa, this is a crappy month, I'm like, for you it is. That's the important thing. For you it is.
Yeah.
It's like, for somebody else, this just made their fucking month. Like, this just made their month amazing.
Like, I think if you take this month alone, and the 3 games, Maneater, Greedfall, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
It's a pretty decent, like,
even if you don't like those games, they're really cool, different types of games.
I think that's an awesome month. It just, for myself, it sucks that Maneater wasn't available on the PS4.
Like I said, you can still at least go on and keep it. So whenever you do get the console, you can at least have it. So at least there's that. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're getting passed by. It just means you don't get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. It's just I guess to finish off the show, like, guys, just fucking chill.
You're getting it for
free.
Many
episodes of this show? How many episodes have we ended with like gamers? Chill.
I'm willing to. If I actually was to put a number on it, I'm pretty sure it's in double digits now. I'm pretty sure it's the
same amount as Vishal doing Madden blessings. It's the same Madden blessings.
Oh no, that's like every episode. We can't compete with that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I think that's going to be it. Unless anybody's got final thoughts on anything, Otherwise, I think we're done.
And now for my final thought. Guys, just let's all just honestly, there's worse things going on in the world than the game that's for free is not the game you wanted. There's literally worse things going on. Chill the fuck out. Make the best of this time. It's really shitty times we're living in. And just
God, you're depressed pilling me again.
And be smart.
I thought you were done playing The Last of Us. Why are you still depressing?
I'm just saying.
I gave you South Park Stick of Truth, or not Stick of Truth. I gave you Fractured Butthole. Go play something fun, goddammit. Stop playing Brick Breaker, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I
dude,
know.
play
Give yourself a birthday present and play something fun. Jesus.
I'll probably start gaming either tomorrow or Friday or Saturday.
Well, either way, enjoy the
believe
last
you.
40 minutes of your apparently Brick Breaker-induced birthday. So,
yes.
Calling it now. Next week, Brick Breaker.
I swear to God, if he says Brick Breaker on the show, I'm legitimately just gonna mute him until he stops talking about Brick Breaker.
No, honestly, I
stop doing it to yourself. We need to have an do we have to have like a fourth intervention for you on this show?
You know what it is? It's one of those things. It's like, you know how you keep losing to a boss battle, but you keep going at it to try to finish it? That's what I'm having right now with Brick Breaker. It's this one level that I just can't beat, and I'm trying whatever I can to beat it, just so I'm able to. And that's essentially what being a gamer is. It's overcoming the failure to accomplish something that is basically going against you. So I understand I'm fucking getting really angry and antsy, and I don't know why
I'm more just annoyed that like you took your entire section of the podcast just to talk about Brick Breaker. That's my only issue.
We all have our own section. We all have our own thing that we're doing. And honestly, I will be honest, a lot of the time for me, gaming is a side hobby that I don't dedicate a lot of time to because
we realize that your main hobby apparently is just destroying the podcast by tangenting all the fucking time. We've learned that. Or Madden Blessings. Actually, that's true. Your goal in life should be to create the Church of Madden. I think that's your dream goal in life. You just don't know it yet.
It's already existing. It's called the Church of Bacon. We already discussed that. But I am trying to just accomplish a lot more things in my personal life that gaming I will treat as a side hobby, and that there's times where I'm on it, like The Last of Us, I'm on it nonstop until it's done. Or the fact of that sometimes my PS4 or not on my consoles, they're not even turned on for months at a time.
Well, then I will finish as your gaming psychiatrist, your personal gaming psychiatrist, to go, if you're going to do nothing for a full week of gaming, don't choose Brick Breaker as the one thing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
There's my one piece of advice. You might as well go back and just rewatch Last of Us cutscenes just to depress yourself further. It's probably more constructive than Brick Breaker at this point.
Yeah, the problem is you're probably correct.
That's the thing. I'm only half joking, I think, on that one. So.
No, The Last of Us 2, there was an end game to that. Like,
I'm sure there's at least a couple of cutscenes in Last of Us Part 2 that you could pull up to be like, oh, that's kind of nice.
No, I get what you're saying, dude. And like honestly, it's just the whole situation. Like, I'm just trying to overcome it and trying to just finish it, because I want to get to a point where I do finish all the levels in Brick Breaker, so I never have to fucking touch it again. Plain and simple. But the thing is, for me, it's like a JRPG, Adam, for you. You're not going to be satisfied until you've done everything for it.
If you are comparing Brick Breaker to a JRPG now, I am not only muting you, I am booting you off the show permanently. That is an insult, sir.
So Adam, really
I don't play JRPGs and get angry at them. Okay, I cry. That's different.
Was those tears?
It was a happy cry too. Fuck off.
But yeah,
Hey, I've cried to things too. It's called a man.
the
tear.
only
You have man tears,
the only game that actually made me feel emotion was The Last of Us 2 and Spider-Man the ending, because oh my god, like this is a character
Don't do it.
that died at the end of that game that we basically grew up with and had our entire lives, and it was just fucking
It's so funny
painful
because
to
it
watch.
sounds so detailed, and yet it's the most vague possible fucking thing, given that it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Anyways,
But
it is 2.5 fucking hours. I am ending this goddamn show. Holy shit. Because I don't want to take
I
another
like how
chance of
half an hour was
Brick
just
Breaker
the
coming
ending.
up again. I'm fucking done.
Until
Alright.
next week on
So-
Brick Breaker, the podcast.
Fuck, Jesus Christ.
No, Chris. the
Okay,
Brick
you know what?
Breaker
This is.
podcast.
I will say this right now, and this is how
Ah.
we're ending it. If you can get us sponsored by Brick Breaker, I will accept Brick Breaker on this show. That is the only way I will accept Brick Breaker on the show ever again.
Okay, fine.
Sorry,
They said
your
they'll
voice cut out
sponsor
for a
us.
second. What were you saying?
Fuck you.
Okay.
He was saying he'll let this show be sponsored by Brick Breaker. They said they'll sponsor us, but we have to change the episode, every episode, and the name of the podcast to just The Brick.
Hey, you show me
Like
what the
the
price.
furniture store.
I have a price. You show me a number, I'll give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's that simple.
They told me it was $30.
Okay, well,
And I'll just say
I'm not
two
that
simple
cheap.
words.
Jesus Christ. That doesn't even buy me a
Bitch,
JRPG. Come on.
That's true. That is true.
So, anyways, this has been the VCR Brick Breaker Sometimes podcast. Fucking goddamn it. So yeah, this has been the
Night, y'all.
VCR podcast. Everybody, thank you so much for checking us out, and we will see you next week when I will do everything in my power to stop all Brick Breaker talk. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Night, y'all.